All right. Well, fingers crossed. I'm already watching Restream do the same thing it's been doing to us. So hopefully, guys, we can maintain the signal. I was hoping that what I just witnessed and looked at earlier today, Restream apparently did some updating. Oh, hello, everyone. Sorry. I've been trying to pay attention and look at what happened when we first initially start the stream off to make sure we're going to be all right. But Restream did something to their platform because now we all have these little avatars that are next to the channels that we have. Show you. So I was hoping that what has been going on with everybody, because we're not the only channel that's been going through this. You see all these little avatars? That's new. They used to not look like that. So I thought maybe that's what was going on, some of what was going on. But like I'm watching Restream buffing right now. What to do? Well, I mean, I'm listening to myself on the YouTube end. So anyway, so hello everybody. We'll just see how it goes. It's been a kind of a crazy couple weeks here in the streaming world. But listen, I'm watching it happen to video gamers, people that just stream games, all the way to people that do kind of what we try to do. You'll say hello, Breaking?
Hello, Breaking. How are we doing? It's Wednesday, folks. We'll see if we can make a go of this.
Yeah, it's just frustrating to no end. Okay, it looks like we're okay right now. I mean, it keeps wanting to do like the little random little buffer wheel, but I don't know. Also, they also built a subdivision back behind here that I know is pulling off the node that was built just for here. I mean, cable companies, so you all know they're cheap as hell. If they can get away with not putting in another node, which is basically like what a transformer would be for the electric company. A node is what they'll put in to push the signal out into different neighborhoods, like for your internet speeds, stuff like that. And they'll stretch those things to the limit till everybody starts suffering so badly they get enough complaints, and they might actually get the maintenance techs to go out there and install one. So there's your cable info for today. All right. Anything you want to bring up? Because my thing is going to be all about Fauci and middle finger Fauci today.
Have at her.
No, it's going to take up like 20 minutes. If you want to get something out first.
Like I said, have at her.
Okay. So, well, anyway, I am, let's see, I'm going to start with this. I've been a big fan of Jamie Deluxe for a long time, and I've watched this guy 4 years at this point, and I've watched him be removed off several different platforms. He's pretty funny. He does all of his work like on his through iMovie on his cell phone, and I think now he uses some kind of like pic art or something. But the guy's pretty whiz with what he can do with a smartphone producing damn videos. He actually does it all on his phone and then uploads them and sits behind an actual pretty nice computer with a mic, which is funny. But so he does a lot of these videos where he covers a lot of the topics. He's like a pedo exposer, if you will. He did a lot of stuff on the Epsteins. He's done stuff with the Weinsteins. Of course, he's covered this stuff with the Fauci's. And I watched a video of his the other day, and then ironically enough, he does another one about kind of the same subject matter. And I was like, maybe it's about time I put these two together and show you guys, because I've asked him to share his content before. He's given me permission a long time ago. But if you remember a couple months back, I put up the letter to Fauci. If you remember, kind of Fauci was involved in the HIV era with the HIV drugs. That's where you see that Dr. Judy Malowski, if I ever get her last name right, she wrote the book, like the plague book. And she now goes on those speaking tours with that Dr. Martin. She's been, shouting this from the rooftops for a long time about what he did during the AIDS. You can find the letter in the Village Voice from the gay community that were outraged because he'd held that research that wound up, thousands of people died because, it is what it is. But there's a couple of these videos he did that kind of tied in to kind of telling the story here. So this is all his work. Shout out to him. again, I've had permission. Everybody, I've had permission, not you guys, the streaming people, permission to play his content for probably almost 2 years at this point. I've just never done it because I don't typically like to do this, but I'm not going to reinvent the wheel. So here it is.
New videos. I had found a video on BitChute that I used called Fauci's First Fraud. I'll leave a link. It's pretty good. Well, this was in it.
They're taking the show to the third world, and they're not only giving AZT to what will probably be millions of women in the third world, whether they're HIV positive or not, but they're also insisting that they stop breastfeeding and start formula feeding.
Mother's milk, which pediatricians around the world will tell you is the healthiest food that a newborn can have because of the immunological properties in mother's milk, that women should in fact cease breastfeeding their young. Now, this to me seems something more than just a crime. This is absolutely diabolical.
I can't imagine that it'll work out any other way than that you're going to just see tens, maybe hundreds of thousands, maybe even more babies dying. And they'll probably say they died of AIDS no matter what happens. So nobody will even be held accountable this time. Oh, here's the one thing they're doing. So they can demonstrate that this has nothing to do with any particular formula company making money off of this situation. The WHO or UNAIDS or whoever it is insisting that the formula gets shipped in bottles without labels.
So that kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Because I remember a few years ago, I had heard some things about heavy metals in baby formula. Well, then I found this. The Baby Killer, a war on want investigation into the promotion and sale of powder baby milks in the third world by Mike Muller, March 1974. Summary: third world babies are dying because their mothers bottle feed them with Western style infant milk. Many that do not die are drawn into a vicious cycle of malnutrition and disease that will leave them physically and intellectually stunted for life. The frightening fact is that this suffering is avoidable. The remedy is available to all, with a small minority of mothers who cannot breastfeed, because mother's milk is accepted by all to be the best food for any baby under 6 months old. Although even the baby food industry agrees that this is correct. More and more third world mothers are turning to artificial foods during the first few months of their babies' lives. In the squalor and poverty of the new cities of Africa, Asia, and Latin.
I found it again. I'm just going to let it play on, but I found it. I'm trying to follow the theme here with the bare bones of malnutrition. So it's already saying, I don't know. I'll just let it continue. Maybe you can follow the trail too, guys.
In America, the decision is often fatal. The baby food industry stands accused of promoting their products in communities which cannot use them properly, of using advertising, sales girls dressed up in nurses' uniforms, giveaway samples, and free gimmicks that persuade mothers to give up breastfeeding. And it goes on and on.
Third world population reduction and important national for
was National Security Memorandum 2 also. But what that reminded me of was National Security Memorandum 200.
In 1974, the U.S. government made a third world population reduction and important national security issue. Titled National Security Study Memorandum 200, the operation is an echo of the British Commission on Population created by King George VI in 1944, which stated that a third world population explosion posed a threat to the international elite. The U.S. plan, created by Henry Kissinger, targeted 13 countries for massive population reduction. Kissinger recommended that the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and World Bank supply loans only if these nations agree to begin aggressive population control programs, including sterilization. Kissinger also used food diplomacy to reach population reduction goals, and added that instigating wars also provided a solution.
So I was trying to remember when I heard about the heavy metals and toxins in baby formula. I knew it wasn't that long ago. So while looking into the recent past, I found a few things that were a little alarming. From 2017, it seems like they have lots of new studies, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2021, about heavy metals in baby formula, toddler food, baby food, juice, and all this stuff. So if you pay attention and look on the upper right-hand corner of these clips, you can see what month and year it is.
Hundreds of different types of food were sampled, from formula and jarred baby foods to snacks for toddlers. The researchers told us they weren't just surprised by the levels of contaminants, but also by how many products tested positive.
Too much exposure to these particular heavy metals can lead to lower IQ, behavioral issues, even been linked to autism and ADHD.
This is an important thing. Our food supply is meant to be safe.
In a brand new investigation by the organization Healthy Babies, Bright Futures, 1 in 5 baby foods tested had over 10 times the 1 parts per billion limit of lead, something health advocates say is very concerning.
There is
scientific officer. His team tested 45 different juices for 4 heavy metal substances: inorganic arsenic, lead, cadmium, and mercury. They found that every single product contained a measurable amount of at least 1 heavy metal except for mercury. 21 of the samples contained one or a combination of heavy metals that reached a level Consumer Reports researchers deemed concerning for daily consumption. And Consumer Reports says the metals found in 7 of the 21 samples had the potential to harm children who drink only a half cup per day.
Some baby foods have dangerous levels of toxic heavy metals that could cause brain damage, and as a result, a House Oversight Subcommittee is calling for new standards and also testing practices. The panel examined products made by Nurture, Hain Celestial Group.
Look who refused to cooperate. Look who refused to cooperate over here on the right. These are the people that cooperated. These are the companies that refused. Could you imagine what they say?
And they said Walmart, Campbell Soup Company, and the Sprout Organic Foods refused to cooperate with the investigation. The panel also found high levels of arsenic.
What does that tell you if they can refuse to comply with an FDA investigation, whether or not there's toxic metals in baby food? Then what kind of investigation is it? Do you think average day Americans could just tell the federal government, no, we don't care. You're not testing our products? I thought it was the FDA. I thought that was their job. So that bothered me. How can you refuse to be a part of something to test your product? And it's the FDA.
Cadmium and mercury in Nurture, Gerber, Beechnut, and Earth's Best organic products.
And the lab found a chemical linked to cancer and brain damage in some food samples.
If ingested regularly over time, these elements increase the risk for certain health problems, particularly for young children. Consumer Reports concluded that 68% of the samples they studied had at least 1 heavy metal at levels they considered worrisome, 68%. And 30% of the products tested raised concern with just 1 serving or less a day if consumed regularly.
In fact, of the 168 foods from major manufacturers, 95% contained lead, 73% contained arsenic, 75% contained cadmium, and 32% contained mercury.
Long-term exposure to these metals could cause some serious health risks, like kidney disease and certain types of cancer.
Investigators said internal documents from 4 U.S. baby food manufacturers showed toxic metals in baby foods at levels higher than other products. When compared to government limits for bottled water, the results were up to 91 times.
Okay, so we got companies that can refuse to be a part of it. We have, what got me is like, yes, it could be some kind of contaminant that's in there, but it immediately made me think of the environment and what they're doing with the soil and Monsanto and what's in our food that we grow and what is used to create baby food. Well, of course, it's the vegetables grown in the ground that they use to make baby food. So then I'm going to show you this one, then I'm going to let Bracken go on and cover some of the stuff he did. Because this, I had other stuff I'd pulled today, but when I saw this stuff, I was just like, I don't know. It all kind of, we all know that most of this stuff anyway, but this is well put together. Does this kind of stuff fun?
There are 3 people I place in what Frank Ruschetti calls the unholy trinity of science, and they are Harold Varmus, Francis Collins, and Tony Fauci. Whenever you ask yourself why the truth hasn't been told in a critical area of public health, you'll probably find the fingerprints of these men at the crime scene.
You've been at the NIH a pretty long time, and it seems to me that during your tenure, our ability to control infectious diseases hasn't improved, but in fact worsened. And even basic health tips such as you can't use antibiotics to treat viral infections has not been adequately communicated to the public because, for instance, people will come in demanding an antibiotic for a common cold, or any other viral infection, which has certainly served to create more resistant strains. Not saying that this has anything to do with this particular SARS epidemic, but don't you think it's time that you step down and let someone else who has a more effective message?
Actually, no. Attacks on me, quite frankly, are attacks on science. Because all of the things that I have spoken about consistently from the very...
You know all about his gaslighting. I'm going to go to this one because it's interesting. But yeah, about if you attack me, you're attacking science. It's just like if you attack me, it's because of my sexuality. If you attack me, because it's the color of my skin.
Science and the truth are being attacked.
We're talking about probably the most horrible scandal and scam ever perpetrated, not only in the name of science, but in humanity and in all history. Today is December 7th, and I was 12 years old when the attack on Pearl Harbor came, and I remember World War II very well. And it's a very significant day today, because I see an incredible parallel between what is going on in the so-called AIDS epidemic and what happened in the years preceding.
And remember that the government admitted that they knew Pearl Harbor was going to happen. They allowed it to happen so we would go to war.
And resulting in World War II. The great lie of Hitler. It's amazing. I think he would envy the job being done by members of the National Institutes of Health and even the media, especially in this country. And I will put the lie to the individuals of the NIH, particularly Gallo and Fauci and Hazeltine and Essex and the rest of these scoundrels of the worst order. Criminals guilty of genocide, without a doubt. I invite them to take me to court. I wish Burroughs Wellcome would take me to court because they have been putting out a killer drug knowingly. Because in a court of law, I would have the opportunity to provide the absolute proof and evidence.
Guys like Fauci get up there and start talking, he doesn't know anything really about anything. And I'd say that to him. He doesn't understand electron microscopy, and he doesn't understand medicine, and he should not be in a position like he's in. Most of those guys up there on the top are just total administrative people, and they don't know anything about what's going on the bottom. Those guys have got an agenda, which is not what we would like them to have, being that we pay for them to take care of our health in some way. They've got a personal kind of agenda. They make up their own rules as they go. They change them when they want to, and they smugly, like Tony Fauci, does not mind going on television in front of the people that pay his salary and lie directly into the camera.
From Spin Magazine, July 1994, Volume 10, Issue 4. With Beck on the front cover. When ABC's Nightline approached Mullis about participating in a documentary on himself, he instead urged them to focus their attention on the HIV debate. Quote, "That's a much more important story," he told producers, who up to that point had never acknowledged the controversy. In the end, Nightline ran a two-part series.
If Fauci wants to get on television with somebody who knows a little bit about this stuff and debate him, he could easily do it because he's been asked. I've had a lot of people, president of the University of South Carolina asked Fauci if he'd come down there and debate me on the stage in front of the student body because I wanted somebody who was from the other side to come down there and balance because I felt like, well, these guys can listen to me, but I need to have somebody else down here that's going to tell me the other side. But Fauci didn't want to do it.
When I was looking at this data with our team the other night, it was reminiscent of 34 years ago in 1986 when we were struggling for drugs for HIV, and we had nothing. And there was a lot of anecdotal reports about things that maybe they were, maybe not. People were taking different kinds of drugs. And we did the first randomized placebo-controlled trial with AZT, which turned out to give an effect that was modest.
In 1987, the war on AIDS took another drastic turn for the worse. AZT, a toxic chemotherapy deemed too poisonous for cancer treatment, was approved to treat symptomatic and asymptomatic HIV patients in an attempt to kill the virus that causes AIDS. AZT is a DNA chain terminator, a poison designed to...
You see any? Look at this. You see anything that strikes your concern of what's going on right now as a DNA chain All right. It's a cold start, a hard reset, and yeah, it looks like everything's back online. We're at 4,600 bit rate. Huh. Shocking. Are you there? Breaking. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I guess we're back, huh?
Yeah. Listen, let me tell you what's got everybody in the. I know that watches this. Oh, we're so fuzzy on YouTube, it's ridiculous. So now our quality has gone down. Just refresh. So what's crazy is that while playing that, the bit rate that you need to stream clearly. Thanks, Maria. And make sure your shit's going off without an issue. Is what would you say? About 4,600 is what I'm looking at right now, and you seem to be coming through fine. 4,600 is the bit rate. While that was going on, it was showing that we had a bit rate of about 600. So it dropped 4,000. And
you need at least.
What do I feel like we're being screwed with is because if I go over there and restart my whole PC over there that I stream through, and all I do is restart the PC and go straight back online, we're back up to over 4,000. What were you going to say?
I was going to say minimally you need to have at least about 2,600. You can probably kick it down to probably about 3,000 and be okay. It's probably optimal depending on the platforms, but yeah, 4,600 was currently where we're at. And last few days of this business, you can sit here behind the scenes and just sit there and watch them cut it. So, doggone well that it's not a coincidence. Let's put it that way.
Now, like I would think it would maybe be an internet issue around here if I could not immediately go back and restart everything and then have what I need. Like it's saying, when you restart your PC, basically, I could probably do it for my modem to change the IP, but like that just seems nefarious. And when I went over to my other PC, you know how it feels like when somebody's messed with your computer, your mouse don't want to move correctly and your screen's all frozen and all that stuff's going on. That's why I think I've got to run some kind of virus defender or something in there.
Well, and we should expect it, folks. So those that are able to listen at the moment, my advice is this: protect yourself as much as possible. Put whatever cleaners on there you must. Try and keep your PCs as clean as possible during these times because, as you well know, they're going to try and, at least in my opinion, probably try and go dark at some point to prevent information from getting out. Whether that be coming up in August here as a certain report comes out, whatever it may be. But obviously they're going to try and do more cyber attacks. We've seen the crap go down with Cyber Polygon. Kind of quiet, really, around the 9th of July when they went through Exercise 2.0 this year. But we should learn to expect it. They're going to try and take out supply lines. They're going to try and take out energy. They're going to try and take out communication. They want you to comply and bow to your God, the New World Order, brought to us by none other than COVID.
Well, I'm going to give a shout out to my dude here because I'm not going to forget to do that at the very least, even though they apparently don't want any of his info out. This is Jamie Deluxe. guy is super awesome. He's in South Carolina. He's a graphics designer, I believe. He works at a car lot. Like, he's tattooed up, plays the guitar, as you can see. And I mean, he's just cool. Like, he puts together these usually about 10-minute long videos. And if you've never seen him or know who he is, that, trust me, this is, I think, his third channel. He used to have like, I want to think almost 100,000 subs, or it was like 70,000 subs. Now this is, I think, his third channel, and this is where he's at. So if you don't know him, go check him out. He does some really, really, really good work. And see, if you'll see, I watched this one. So I was trying to show you guys the Formula one and the I'm Science one. But like, this is the Vicious Circle. I really recommend you guys at some point go check that one out, because it talks about a case where this couple went to Romania and adopted a child, and she was tested. She came back. They said she had HIV. They immediately tried to put her on that AZT. She was on it for a year and a half of her life. Had all kinds of complications. It's a great, I mean, you need to hear it. But this is, again, why. And I implore anyone, for the love of God, if you are out there and you're listening to this stream and you're one of these freaking overlords that want to just decide who and who doesn't have a voice on these platforms, I am begging you, prove me wrong. If you think what I'm doing here is trying to spread misinformation, if you think what I'm doing here is trying to hurt people, then just go prove me wrong. Email it to me. Email it to the 5x5 Gmail and say, this is where you're an idiot. Or go tell those hundreds and at this point, thousands of doctors that have been practicing in medicine, actually seeing patients for 30 or 40 years, that are risking everything. Unbeknownst to me, why they have to risk everything to tell people the truth, but they are risking everything to go out here and just talk about the evidence, talk about what the truth is. And they're constantly shut down. If that's not alarming to you, because you're not going to sit here and tell me that everybody that works at YouTube is part of this conspiracy to shut all these people up. I guarantee you the majority of people that work there are probably just trying not to get fired and do their job. I would put it past a number of at least over half of those people that don't feel like it's right to shut people down, or they themselves have been alarmed by the very videos they review. And that's what I hope. I hope the videos they're enforced to shut down on the YouTube side of it, they've learned something and they've gone and done their own research. And they, in turn, even if quietly, have woke up several of their friends. That's what's alarming to me. The amount of effort put in to push this damn experimental thing, the amount of effort put in to cover up all of Fauci's history and his track record of hiding things, information from people, lying to people directly to their face. Now we have the CDC coming out today, pushing again this mask mandate, telling everybody to have mask up again. This is not a conspiracy. YouTube and whoever else, this is not a conspiracy. They have never, ever isolated COVID. It's never been isolated. That's why it wasn't used in the vaccines. That's not lying to people. That's the truth. So tell me, if COVID has never been isolated, it was given a name, coronavirus, but it was given SARS-CoV-2 as that quote variant of the, how many ever coronaviruses we know about, right? So now it's SARS-CoV-2, but it's never been isolated. They've never been able to find it. Tell me how now we know there's a Delta. What proof is there that there's now this Delta variant? Just tell me that. Anybody. If you can't isolate and identify the initial disease, then tell me how you can isolate and identify a variant of it. Like, that's the part that's infuriating, is that people think that we're stupid. We know we're not dumb. The jig is up. You're not going to keep, by shutting people down, you're not just going to convince them to shut up and move on, and that they're stupid.
No,
all right. So
end of the day, you're pushing a rope. It's nice to play on air niceties and say, come to your senses, but it's not going to happen. We know that. I'm not in the business of reasoning with terrorists of this country. And that's exactly what YouTube, Google is. Why? Because they've invested heavily in the Wuhan lab for over a decade. It's not in their interest. So anything that goes against their interest or their narrative, obviously, pays the price. We know that. That's a risk we
I'm
take.
talking about like the Zach Voorhees. There are Zach Voorhees in the world. There are the whistleblowers that have came out. Project Veritas has them on, where they were working in these organizations and as engineers or whatever, data, whatever you call them, I don't know, code people that write code, whoever they are, and that have come out and blown the whistle on it. I do believe that they are out there, and again, I think it's so important that we say this all the time, and I think people are starting to understand it. And I don't mean in this circle, because all y'all been with us, most of you been with us a long time, is that people are starting to wake up. The power is in the hands of the people. Look what we've done to the Department of Education with CRT, because so many parents were outraged and went and spoke to their school board members. There's one thing they fear the most. They fear losing their power, their control, their position. So what do? You threaten their position. You threaten to replace them, have them, kicked out of office and put someone else in there. And all of a sudden, you'll watch these people that were all adamant about something just quickly back down from it. So run against them. I'm saying this again. I do not give a shit if you have been a housewife for 40 years. Okay, I don't care if you don't know how to write a bill, sign a bill. I don't give a shit if you don't know how to make a grilled cheese sandwich. As long as you love your country, I will put more faith in you figuring it out than I will put it in anyone else that has been a lawyer or a CEO of one of these corrupt businesses, or God help us, a politician for 30 or 40 years. Go on, you house mom that can't make a grilled cheese. I'll root for your ass. Because I have more confidence that you can't be bought off and give a shit more about the people living around you than the people telling you they do. But yeah, that was go check out Jamie. He's a good dude. He does some really good videos. He's hilarious though. The initial thing, it was first part of his videos. He says, "I say fuck a lot." Oh my God, he's funny. But yeah. And listen, you know me, I'm highly considering doing a video of comparing these people, the Faucis, the mainstream medias, the cancel culture, all of these people to Scientology. I've been saying it now for a couple of years. These people are following a religion. And I know religious people that, love God are apprehensive to say that, but we got to stop. We got to stop, because Satanism is a religion. It is. It's not a good religion, but it is. These people are following a dogmatic religion. The religion of you either fall in line with me or you're a horrible human being. That's what they do. You believe what I believe, or you should be, you're what does the Muslim religion call it? You're a caliphate. What is it called? Breaking? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Where you at? Did you dump? What is Muslim? Let me go look at my chat rooms. They're probably screaming it at me.
Islam.
What is it called? Yeah, Islam. But what does it mean when you try to leave that religion? What do they call that? You're considered is it a caliphate?
No. I don't recall.
Well, it does, because I'm trying to correlate but anyway, that's how they treat anyone that doesn't fall in line with the leftist dogma. Okay. Cover some of your stuff.
No, I'm good. I'm a little late for that. Kind of wind is out of the sails at the moment, so I'll just sit idly by.
You got 10 minutes. What do you mean? Don't let them beat you. That's the one thing I won't do. I won't let this shit that they do beat me from doing what I've been doing. They're not going to win. All these people that come out here and talk about your people going to have to figure it out, people got to fight, then they need to be that people. They need to be the same. Can't let them win. So cover what you brought to cover. At least an article or two. You have plenty of time.
No, I'm just really not in the mood for it at the moment. So if you've got other stuff you want to cover or continue on your diatribe,
let me play it. I tried. That's how we got shut down.
Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, interesting piece, I guess. I'll just maybe close out with this. Provided my shit will actually share.
Yeah, Breaking's running on that. He's got a lamp right now. He usually has 2 PCs. He's down to 1 currently.
All right. Interesting piece from an Anon, apparently reposted on Gab here today. Says, okay, look, when you whites start abandoning the cities, already seeing the start, there are a few ground rules you need to take to heart before you come out here to live among the rural folk. And of course, what they're ascribing is that there are numbers of folks fleeing the cities right now. Of course, buying up houses left and right. The market has been absolutely ridiculous with houses not being bought up left and right countryside. We've talked about it right here. And yeah, so they put this together. It says, number 1, no anti-gun fucking nonsense. And that includes your, but we need some common sense gun control bullshit too. You and everyone around you will be armed to the fucking teeth. And guess what? Nobody will shoot you. This is the way it's done here. You will comply. Number 2, leave your faggotry and your degenerate bullshit back in the fucking cities. It is not respected here. You will likely be attacked for it if you display it openly. If you are a faggot, stay in your cesspool city. We don't want you here. Number 3, understand that your previous opinions and attitudes are the very reason you have to flee the despicable hellhole you created. Learn from your mistake. Do not repeat it here and end up fucking up another entire region with your nonsense. You need to admit you're not as smart as you think you are, and those you thought were less intelligent than you were right all along. We can't accept you, but you must adhere to these rules. They are non-negotiable. So, yes, and I think in as many words, we have heard various sheriffs say that down in Florida with the mass migration of folks out of the likes of New York City and New Jersey and California and everywhere else. Everybody's fleeing to Texas, Florida, southern states. Leave your policies back behind you, because if you bring that stuff with you, you're not going to survive out there. Guarantee you. And I share the sentiments of the Anon that posted that. So thought that was worthy of sharing here today.
Well, and I mean, it rings true. It made me think of this. It's so sad. I watch all kinds of things. So Breaking knows that. I'll get into these modes where I'll kind of watch a certain thing, and then I'll kind of move on, and then I'll find something else. Usually I try to find funny stuff that I watch when I'm not doing political stuff, because it is draining. So I try to find things that are just interesting. And sometimes these paths leads me down to some pretty sad daggum stories, I'm not gonna lie. But what he just said reminded me of this. There's a guy that has a YouTube channel, and I have even thought about reaching out to him because he does really good work, and none of his stuff is monetized. And I'll show you an example of kind of what Breaking was talking about. I'm not going to share my audio because I don't really need to. This guy has a channel called The Soft White Underbelly, and he goes around and he interviews all these people from all over the country. And what he found was a family in West Virginia called the Whitakers. It's titled Inbred Family. And supposedly the parents of all these children were first cousins. And he went and photographed them for a book, Created Equal, that he wrote 2004. But my part that I want to highlight to you is these people are very mentally challenged, okay? They have one older sister that seems like she has got most of her faculty. She's the one that cooks for them and all that. The others can't even really speak. I'm serious. The one 65-year-old brother, he almost like barks like a dog. I mean, this is the truth. But my highlight here is what he says here. I strongly discourage anyone attempting to look for the Whitakers, as their armed neighbors and the Raleigh County deputies both make it clear that curious visitors are not welcome. And he said that when he first went down there to attempt to photograph these people, that the neighbor came out with a shotgun down the house and tried to about ran him off until he explained what he was down there for. And I'm going to tell you, this a heartbreaking video. If this shows you anything, a little bit about this family, this guy right here kind of barks like a dog, literally. She doesn't ever say a word. It's like she makes noises. But the sister over here is the one that can speak, and I think majorly takes care of these people. It's a very, very, telling you, it's gut-wrenching. But I just found that, when you mentioned that, I found it funny that these people could easily be robbed, picked on, made a mockery of, but their neighbors protect them. So that's West Virginia for you. You know what I mean? And that's back in the hills where nobody lives. Okay? The road ends at these people's houses. So yeah, that would give validity to that statement. But I think that's the fear from the open border, and where Biden and all these state departments making all these deals with these states. Think about where they were shipping all these illegal immigrants. Think about where we've discovered some of them are being sent, and I know they were dropping a lot of them over there in East Tennessee. Was getting a lot of these flights that are coming in the middle of the night. Where would you try to send your illegal army? Which reminded me of, oh, that's a good one to bring up. Reminded me of article 2 I brought today. Let me find it. Now, remember, Nashville is, our big city here. We don't deal with the things we do, but look at this. I saw this today. Suspected MS-13 members indicted in Nashville for violent crime conspiracy. A federal grand jury in Nashville has indicted 9 suspected members of MS-13 gang, charging them with racketeering, conspiracy, and including allegations of 7 murders, kidnappings, assaults, robberies, and a large-scale drug distribution. Acting U.S. Attorney Mark Jane Stewart made the announcement Wednesday morning. Again. Oh, so there we go, Nashville. So now look who that is. It's not the sad, poor, defenseless women and children AOC. Where do you think these people got into the country? Well, did you know where the MS-13 gang started? Like the development, the founding area where MS-13 was first started, it was in California. Did you know that?
Not surprised.
That's crazy. Thanks, California, and your sanctuary state over there. That's what you sanctuaried MS-13 to rise. But yeah, so I saw that today and I thought, that's what they're trying to do to every single one of these in these states they can't control. They're going to try and put people in there that they can get to control it or make the crime rate. What I think another the deal is I think they're intentionally trying to escalate the crime rate, bring in whatever MS-13 or whoever else they get to come through our southern border that's not going to respect our laws. Make sure to try and get a firearm in their hand, just like Obama and Biden did during Fast and Furious. And then have people in here that are willing to do whatever they need to get whatever they want from you. And then they're again going to push the Second Amendment thing, trying to disarm everyone.
Yeah, I think their day is coming.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
By the way, good to see you out there, KB, watching.
Yeah, we've had there's streaming issues.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, it's been going on. But again, I think that that when they can't get to the platforms because for whatever reason they go, you know how they do. Look, they've managed to get people to lose their bank accounts, not be able to use their debit cards.
Well, and again, I say this is the area where folks are going to have to stand up and rally together and take your talents, your skills that you've developed from the inside, if you're on the outside now, have been sidelined or what have you. And this is where we need to make the rubber hit the road. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't necessarily have to be right. Just don't be bought by them. Do what works in your respective communities. Find like-minded folks. Find like-minded folks across counties, communities, whatever. This is that time to get it done. Communications, payment processing, things to maintain electricity, you name it, gardening, all those things, basic survival stuff. That's ultimately what it's going to take. And they're not going to defeat us. They think that they're going to stint us and take us out and bow to their wicked system. Nah, not a chance. And that's why they want to try and depopulate this country as badly as they do. Take us from 330 million down to 99 million by the year 2025. Because they know that we're going to put up a damn fight. They also know that we're not going to tolerate their bullshit for very much longer. The shenanigans they play up in the Hill, our respective state houses that they perverted, any of it. And so because they can't change our minds, they'll just try and kill us off via slow kill. And they'll wheel in a replacement populace from some third world countries who will like socialism and handouts. And that's exactly what we're seeing play out, not just here. We're seeing it play out in the EU. We're seeing it play out in other areas of the world. Same thing. Same playbook. The guys, Satan's not very original. He has to copy things all the time. Not very bright either. But you had mentioned something along the lines of the whole COVID stuff kind of becoming a religion. And Epoch Times had this article out here today where apparently the CCP virus sculpture was unveiled at Liberty Sculpture Park in Yermo, California, June 4th. Surprise. The anniversary of China's Tiananmen Square massacre, courtesy of Jonas Wan. The CCP virus sculpture was destroyed by an arsonist. Yeah. So you want to make your little idols to your little COVID gods? We're going to burn them some bitches right to the ground. CCP virus sculpture was destroyed by arsonists less than a month ago, or a month after being revealed to the public in Yermo, California, the artist says. This was an attack on the American system of free speech and was meant to silence us. Liberty Sculpture Park, which housed the piece, said July 24th on Facebook. We will not be silenced. We will rebuild loudly and proudly. Oh, yeah? Well, we see how well that worked with your little George Floyd sculpture and painting on the side of a wall in Ohio. Supposedly an act of God that wiped that out. And we'll just call a little arson an act of God. And we will continue to do that. And God will not be mocked. He is a jealous God. He is not going to have idols before him. And so when you cower and hide behind the First Amendment when it's convenient for you, no. The Constitution is for immoral folks. You don't get to pick and choose. And because you lack morality, we'll just take those right out. You don't get to hide behind that stuff. So good luck with that.
Before we turn it over to Daddy, I'm going to show this really quickly because this was what?
The hell's on his head?
Oh, the COVID thing.
Oh, geez.
Says Pfizer data suggests third dose of COVID-19 vaccine strongly boosts protection against Delta variant. I'm going to just say again to you that Delta variant has never been identified. Neither has SARS-CoV-2. I'm not spreading conspiracy. That are the facts. Again, why are people being shut down from telling people the facts? So here we go with this strongly boost against protection. Third dose of this Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine can strongly boost against listen to this claim here. Can strongly boost protection against the Delta variant beyond the protection afforded by the standard 2 doses. Suggests, I want you to understand the gaslighting, suggests new data released by Pfizer. The data posted online suggests that antibody levels against Delta variant as people ages 18 to 55 who received the third dose are greater than fivefold the following of the second dose. Listen to the words, folks. The data Pfizer suggests that antibody levels against the Delta variant are receiving a third dose of vaccine are greater than 11-fold. Now it's 11-fold. We went from 5-fold to 11-fold. The data, which included 23 fucking people. Yay, less than 2 dozen. Where did you work? Oh, we work for Pfizer, but that doesn't matter. But during a company earnings call on Wednesday morning, Dr. Dalston, who leads worldwide research, developed development in medical for Pfizer called the new data on a third dose encouraging. Well, where do you work for, sir? For the people making it. Receiving a third dose more than 6 months after vaccination, when protection may be beginning to wane, was estimated to potentially, look at the words, estimated to potentially boost the neutralizing antibody killers that participate in the study of 100 times higher post-dose 3 compared to blah, 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 fucking blah, blah, blah. The data also shows that the antibody levels are much higher against the original coronavirus variant. The data shows what data? Show me the data. First identified in South Africa after a third dose. First identified. Show me the identifier. Show me where you identified it. Show me. They can't. Pfizer announced it's been waning immunity from its coronavirus vaccine, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say to you, watch the words. Pfizer to submit third dose vaccine to the FDA. We are in ongoing discussions with regulatory agencies regarding potential third dose booster of the current vaccine, assuming positive results anticipated by emergency use. Here we go, another emergency use. Anticipate an emergency use authorization submission as early as August. So they're going to take this emergency use thing that they used to try and give you the first one that, again, has not been cleared, and they're going to try and use it to give people a third one. Well, that's because you're not dying fast enough, folks. I mean, let's just be real. That if I'm wrong about this streaming platform, then please tell me why you keep shutting down all these people that have tried to come out and talk about it. But Daddy, I'm going to say before you get started with your corona on here, be careful. We've already been silenced today. I've had to reboot my whole system by just trying to play a video of Fauci and his HIV dates. So just careful with your words, because since I'm leaving and you're coming up, just try to cover some stuff that, just be careful. KK?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep, gotcha.
Aye,
yes.
Aye. So I'm not allowed to say anything.
I didn't say that you're not allowed to say anything. I'm just saying be careful in how you say it. Like, don't come out here like a couple times you have talking about stringing people up. I have to remove those because you can't. They'll label that as violent rhetoric and all that other stuff, which I understand on their end. So just that kind of stuff. You're talking about, ending people's lives, that kind of shit.
So what I'm going to do is give an honest broadcast. Ready?
Oh, good Lord, have mercy.
About a typical subject that we're not allowed to talk about.
But I'm going to keep
what?
I'm going to keep my shower cap on, right? Which is this. There isn't a problem with the shower cap. I know it's not the channel, by the way. It's YouTube. So don't think I'm saying anything about you, because I'm not.
Let's just say, DD, that looks like the worst case of syphilis on your head that one could possibly have.
Well, I want you to make.
Where have you had your head?
Yeah, you're not wrong. But I've just come off the other side, basically, and been talking for a book, which I will say to people, I'll bring it up on the screen in a minute for people to go and have a research on. I believe they're American doctors, but basically they're talking about repurposed bleep, right? And there's a book. It's on Amazon. You can go and get it on Kindle. And anyone who's sort of struggling in any arena, really, you should go and have a read of it, because it is really good. But other than that,
I like my books. I have plenty of them that I still need to read.
Yeah,
for sure. I have a damn library of books I need to read.
But it's not so. I mean, I look like one of the Queen's Guards, don't I, with this on? No.
You're so funny. That's too cute. I just try to play by the rules on the one end, because again, more people are over there than anywhere else, and we have implored them and tried to get them to go to another platform, and for whatever reason, it's just not. They can't do it. They're not doing it. So, you look after we upstream, we usually over around 1,000 people or over 1,000 people, and for us, the smaller channel, that's good for us. And I'd rather dance around words and get the information out than have those 1,000 people not have access to the information anymore. And that's just how I have to look at it at this point.
Okay.
You know, and if we have to cut it off on any other day, or somebody wants to do a special broadcast and that stuff's cut off, I'm not opposed to that at all. And I've done it, you know, a handful of times. But like on Wednesdays, try not to do that because Wednesday's our biggest day and there's a lot of people involved. So, you know, I try to keep it up on all of them on Wednesdays. But you're more than welcome to come over here any other day of the week and do a special thing and just flick that stuff off.
Get a rip, Tater Chip. I'll see you later, man.
All right, bye, Daddy. Have a good one with your damn your syphilis head. Bye, guys. Sorry we had so many freaking issues, but listen, I'm just going to keep on moving. We'll keep on turking. Keep on juking and jiving. All right, bye, Daddy. Have fun. That's a funny hat. You must have some pretty good fans. I don't see you buying that. I see you receiving that.
Receiving what?
The hat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see you going out and buying it. I see somebody mailing it to you. All right, bye, guys. Have a good one. I'll try to watch in the background. Hopefully you won't have any issues. Again, I had to reboot my whole system earlier because our bit rate dropped to like 600. It was ridiculous. Now it's up over 4,000. So, right. And only because I rebooted my computer. So, whatever that is. All right, bye, everybody. Have fun with Daddy. Don't beat him up too hard. Bye.
Bye. So, just to let everyone know as well, when I was last on here, I was a little bit, let's say, impolite, short-tempered with something that Breaking Inspector said. And I want to apologise for that. And that was when he made the comment, is you got to remember the difference between legal. I was explaining about the Gestapo police and what happened in Nazi Germany. And he said, you know, remember the difference between legal and lawfully, right? And I do understand the difference. And I sort of understand, and I do understand what he's getting at with that. And that ain't a problem. What I'm saying is the Nazis didn't care whether it was legal or lawful. And certainly the person who was just about to have his head blown off by a Nazi Gestapo officer or even subordinate in the Gestapo, you know, he couldn't turn around to that geezer with a gun to his head, just about to pull the trigger and say, hey, listen, mate, you're talking about the difference between legal and lawful, and what you're doing is unlawful. It might be legal, right? The fella with a gun to his head didn't care. So, but what I'm saying is to everybody, I apologise to Breaking Inspector for being short with that. I've got to be telling you, it isn't the first time, not with Breaking, but with other people who say a similar thing to me. It's just one of them things that you got to realise these people don't care what it is. They're not interested. In fact, they're making their own laws up as they go along, literally. So tell me at some stage when you want me to take this stupid thing off my head, and I will do, because I do look like an alien. I don't like that. Right, let's get it off because it's hot. Oh, there you go, right? Alien head, you can go over there, just in case I terrify the kids. Big right button, my elders are here. Oh, right, okay. Bolsheviks Operation Trust the Q Train nonsense. Now would be a good time. Jordan, Daddy Dragon now. So you want me to take it off? They need to be taken down by force. Ena Sharple's dad. I've got to say something. I ain't heard that name, Ena Sharples, for a long time. So, people, again, I'll have a discussion about this. There's a great book out there. Again, I'm going to show it for anyone on the audience who didn't see it before. I will bring it up on the screen. Actually, I might even actually just, again, put it in, it says copy the link, copy link address. the easiest thing to me to do possibly is just to put it out there. If anyone wants to go and grab this book, they can. And then I'll show you a little bit more about it and who wrote it. It's on Amazon. It's out there. It's not a far out, way out book. It's written by professional doctors in America. It's an American book. I'm going to go back and show you the actual page. Let me see if I can get on this again. Let's go back to page 1. And it's a book about cancer. It's a positive story about cancer. Share sound I've put on there. Optimize for video clip. There it is on there. And we're going to go on there and hopefully you're going to see it. So that's the book, Surviving Cancer. And all I'm doing, don't forget, I'm not earning any money out of this. This isn't a product advert for the show, for me, for anyone else. This is basically telling you where you can get information. You can get this on 2 things. You can get it as a paperback or you can get it as a Kindle version. Surviving Cancer, bleep, bleep, and Disease. And then you can see what it says on the screen. The Repurposed Drug Revolution by Justice Robert Hope, MD. Still practicing. Copyright 2020. Justice Hope, all rights reserved. Published by Hope Press Books International, blah, blah, blah. Printed in the United States of America. No part of this book may be used or reproduced in any manner whatsoever, whether electronic or mechanical or stored in a data or retrieval system without written permission, except in the case of brief quotations embodied in critical articles or reviews for information addressed and Pressworks International, blah, 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 blah. And that is what I'm doing. I'm actually giving them a punt of this book. It's a great book. Go and have a read of it. And he says in there, there's a number of people out there. This is a monumental treatise which should educate, inform, and impact medical care, public health, and public policy, and our world positively, and also be an immense benefit to patients with cancer, infectious diseases, and in particular those directly or indirectly affected by bleep, bleep. Right, Dr. Justice Hope has assembled and explained critical facts and research on repurposed drugs in the most scholarly manner. There is absolutely no issue with you going and buying this book. And I can tell you now, it is a great book. So there it was. This is the foreword I'm going to read out by Ben Williams. When I was diagnosed with glioblastoma multiforme brain tumor in 1995, I was told that the standard treatment of surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy were ineffective and that no one survived my diagnosis. Fortunately, this is when the success of HIV cocktail was in prominent focus, which raised the prospect that cocktail approach applied more generally, including to the treatment of cancer. At least conceptually, the evolutionary dynamics that produce treatment resistant for AIDS applies to cancer cells as well as to viruses. So targeting the cancer cell with multiple treatment agents at the same time would produce more effective treatment with longer lasting efficiency. Having a philosophy of treatment is one thing, implementing the philosophy is another. Identifying drugs that can be combined with other drugs without excess toxicity is a daunting task that must be addressed with caution. It is also extremely difficult given that the standard practice of our medical system has been to actively discourage the use of drug combinations outside of clinical trials. At the same time, the cocktail approach to treatment was gaining traction. The revolution in cellular biology was increasingly successful in the understanding the dynamics of cell division and providing the framework for understanding how many widely used drugs could be adapted for cancer treatment, because many of these drugs have been used for decades. Their toxicities are well understood, as is their interactions with other drugs, thus ideal candidates for use in drug cocktails. This book is an important resource for all cancer patients. It identifies many commonly used drugs that have shown efficacy against multiple types of cancer. Because of their toxicity are well known, they can be added easily to standard treatment. Several different cocktail protocols are explicitly discussed, including clinical outcomes from different types of clinical trials. Hopefully, the wealth of evidence that is discussed will overcome the resistance to cocktail treatment plans so often encountered by patients from their oncologists. And then it goes on and it says, Ben Williams, PhD, Professor Emeritus of Psychology, University of California at San Diego, author of Surviving Terminal Cancer, Clinical Trials, Drug Cocktails, and Other Treatments your oncologist won't tell you about, right? So all I've done is explain that one to you. I've stopped the share. I've gone back on my screen. Does everyone understand what that is? And you've all just heard me, touch wood, you've seen it, and you understand what it is. Now, this is not me or the channel giving you medical advice. This is us giving you a book recommendation written by many doctors explaining in many chapters why it is safer and to use repurposed drugs, right? And the main issue there, is that I don't know if you know, but drugs go through basically 3 phases. Massive moth trying to attack me, right? I do hate moths, especially when they're attracted to my lights, right? So I'm sure we're going to have some fun with that one. If it ain't weird things, it's moths. Anyway. You have stage 1 where they go through trials, stage 2's where it's more advanced, and in stage 3. Every stage is expensive, right? But it's less expensive if the drug has already gone through all them stages, which in many cases, in every case, all of these repurposed drugs have been, right? They already know if there's any side effects. They already know if it badly interacts with another type of drug. So it becomes a safer option. Where are you gone now? I've adopted a pet, right? A pet moth, right? Just to let you know. So there is the situation. So when you repurpose something, you're already using it for something, right? It could be used for heart, like statins. But now they're saying it's a particular statin with a particular ingredient. They don't know why, but they know that it helps with another drug and it stops cancer. So because it's already been through the whole process and they know that it interacts well with the drug that they want to use it with, all of a sudden that combination kills cancer. Why wouldn't you be using it? Well, because there's no money in it, right? That's the basis of it. There's no further trials needed. So one of the things that President Trump did was he introduced something called right to try. Right, so in effect, your last straw with a doctor in America was, I want to use this and I've got the right to try it, or something that hadn't been trialed yet and hadn't been approved in any way. But they said, well, we think it works with cancer, it works in mice, it works in this, and it works in this, but we've never tried it on humans. Well, if someone's telling you you've got 3 months to live, and you stick your hand up and say, listen, try it on me then. You know, your compos mentis, you know what the situation is, and you're saying, I'll tell you what, I'll have a go at that. That is the situation. Right, someone's mentioning some dates out there. I don't know what they are. Cancer, just like the government, needs eradicating. I agree. John Pierce, please check out Mr. Lindell's 72-hour challenge to those who can disprove the evidence. Now 2020 can't say no more. Rod Wright up. Let's have a look. Could it be in the neighbours? Viruses are fake and there are no viruses to infect others. What is flu then? What is type of virus? Yearly detox. Flavel, yeah, don't. think I've watched it since it was black and white. I don't know what it is. Maybe. Is there a lot of buffering? If there is buffering, I don't know why, but it isn't coming from me. What I'm going to do is refresh my screen, make sure my sound is off, and go back and have a quick look and see what's going on. Mine isn't buffering, and I can see my lips moving, so it must be working. Right. So, are there any questions? And I take it some people have come over from the Rumble. I don't know. I think I don't know how many people we had tops watching on Rumble. Does anyone want to tell me how many was there? Refresh looks good here. I love that right to try in America. Susan Gamble, because it helped people in so many ways. I do know that our figures of viewing figures, live viewing figures on Rumble, the other day, I think got up to 800. So obviously, once we start getting back over the thousands, which I'm going to be happy with. And again, don't forget, we're going to be going to the parks on Sundays, and I'm going to do a live stream from every park that I go to. So one, the Americans might want to watch that. You'll probably watch the recorded version when it's left up on Rumble, but you will see in high definition a live with a special piece of kit that I've now introduced to the show, and for us going out and doing proper things. You should be able to see high definition without any whirring, everything there. So tonight we got up to 599, 600 odd. It was there on Rumbles, 122 Rumbles. Well, that ain't bad, really. Like I say the other night, but if we can, I mean, we will eventually get pushing past the 1,000, and that. So what we're proving to people is that that SpewTube is stopping the viewers. They're not allowing this information to get out, and you are the people that are promoting the show, right? So where you're now seeing that the show go up to the viewers, I mean, when you think probably 3 or 4 years ago, I was getting 1,500 continuous viewers for an hour show or a 2-hour show, and it's dropped to the hundreds. It's not the content that's changed. It's not the people who's changed, and especially on 5B5, it's their algorithms are not allowing, and then even the people watching, and I know this because to go out and meet people, everyone's come up and say, "I know you, oh, well, hello, blah, 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 blah," right? And I'm a normal geezer, so people approach me and say hello. What's really funny about that is we can see that the figures are being dumbed down. It's in the same way as they, I can't really say that on here. I've just got to be careful what I say here. I'm not even going to say it. They actually took my channel down for saying what I was just about to say. If I was on Rumble, I'd be saying it and it wouldn't matter. Englishman, Daddy Dragon, I missed the show on Rumble tonight, so I'll be going over there after here. The Englishman, no problem. Robert Latham, I've had problems with Rumble DD. Yeah, there's a few people having problems with it. I've got to be honest with you. On the live side of it, there's two ways you can listen on Rumble. You can either use their app, but if you use their app, you can press it up and you can listen to the show and all that. But the chat function isn't on the app. The only way you can go on the chat function is if you use it on a laptop and you use it from a HTTP address, right? So in other words, you have used the actual URL. And you go on there. So you log in and you register and you subscribe and you do all the stuff that you do on Rumble as you would do on SpewTube, except Rumble allows me more or less to say what I want, right? And more and more people are catching up with the live shows. More and more people have started to look at the shows after that. I mean, if you look at the success of X22, he's different gravy. His format has always been the same. It may be because he don't show his face. Right? It may be because people are not. They look at me and go, "Yeah," right? All go, "Ah," right? I don't know what the reason is, but he has got a really good format, and I listen to him virtually every day. I didn't listen to him for a couple of months, only because I was busy doing other stuff. And to be honest with you, there was more important things that we was dealing with. So we dealt with that. Let me just make sure, by the way, that I click the thumbs up on here so everyone knows. Okay, in West Yorkshire, Rod Wright, Trump is a Freemason. I couldn't give a monkey's he's a Freemason or not, to be honest with you. Full English show on Rumble. John Swabby, Rumble works well. And again, let me just make a quick comment on that element. I did cover that on the other night on the Rumble show. I'm going to tell you what. How many Americans watching? If you're an American, give me a yay in the chat because I'm going to ask you a question. Give me a yay if you're American, or a yo or a yay in the chat if you are an American, because I'm going to ask you a question. You have a great, David Wesley, thanks for that, mate. You have a great face for radio. That's funny. That's an old joke, but I still like it. Let's have a look here. June Gower, it's the full English show on Rumble, not Daddy Dragon. Yeah, you can find it, June Gower, full English show, Daddy Dragon, whatever way you want to find it. I don't know how you do that, but you will find it. Let me just see if there's any Americans watching, because I'm going to ask. Yay, Helen Swanson. Just found DD after months. Kevin M. Baxter. Well, Kevin, you need to go to Rumble because I'm on there. Gordon, hi, folks. Hi from Newmarket, England. Got you on a big screen, DD. That poxy thing is back again. Right. I should have got and killed it earlier. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, if there's enough Americans on there, Cindy Wolf, American. Right, so for the Americans out there, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you like and are you proud of George Washington? There's the question. Just put yes or no. Do you like and are you proud of George Washington? Just give me a yes or no. There's the question. Oh! Good out of it. That done me right in the ear roll, that one. Did you see that attack my ear roll? Right, I'm going to have to get up and kill it in a minute. Let me have a look. I found you, but some patriots haven't. If they look for DD, it doesn't come up. Oh, no. I don't know how they're going to find. I'll have to put DD. And Daddy Dragon and all that. So I will be sending it out there. Right. So the Blunt Crusader. Let's see how many people have said, yeah, they are. Maria. Kill them off. Yeah, it is a kill them off. The Englishman. I think you think that's funny, me being attacked by that, didn't you? Right. So I'm going to say this to everyone. Yeah, George Washington was a Freemason. Right. And again, if I've got to tell you the story, I will tell you the story. Benedict Arnold, who was the biggest traitor and treasonous, see you next Tuesday, to America, who sold out to the British for £10,000, which may have been a lot of money then, but let me tell you something, I would never sell out America, let alone my own country, for any amount of money, right? Full stop. That it just wouldn't even, I don't care how much they offered me, what they offered me, it ain't happening, right? The problem was, and again, I am going to do this mini documentary. In fact, if the stuff comes tomorrow, I might pop over Friday to Battersea in London and go and visit his grave and then start telling the story about Benedict Arnold and why he's buried in a London grave. Well, I wouldn't say it's called a pauper's grave, but it's very close to it, in Battersea. Battersea was not always a rich area like it is now. It's the overspill from Kensington and the surrounding areas. That's what caused the downfall of Battersea, if you like. Nigel Farage. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's right. I am watching Rumble. I don't comment on there much. Dave Mabbott. Hello, Dave Mabbott. How you doing, son? I needed to speak to you, Mr. Mabbott. Send me an email. Be really helpful if you can send me an email. Links for Lady Dragon. It's coming up there. Yay, a documentary from D-Day. Yeah, it won't be an all singing and dancing one, but it will be a good documentary. So what I'll do is go through the history, and I'll talk about George Washington and Benedict Arnold, and I'll also talk about Freemasonry, and I'll go to the lodge, the main lodge. In fact, I might even ask him if I can go in there and take pictures and do some filming in there, because everyone talks about it being a secret society. But what I am doing this for is to tell you the story of George Washington and Benedict Arnold. Benedict Arnold was also a Freemason. The British got into him via a woman who just happened to be a British, if you like, emigree, I believe. And I'll go through the detail in it on the actual documentary. She was a lot younger than him, and via her, the messages got to him that the British woman give you £10,000, blah blah blah. But prior to that, he was some sort of merchant, import and export merchant, right? Prior to the war, he then, after the war, escaped and got back. When I say got back, he left the USA. He got over here, but he was blanked. People didn't want to speak to him. The business community, who were largely Masons, didn't want anything to do with him, right? Not because bearing in mind they in their terms were British or English, as most of them were at the time, from the English Grand Lodge. They were the ones who blanked him, and the reason they blanked him was that he basically turned against the brother. And he was bribed into doing it, and it was that's the reason why they said we don't want nothing to do with you. We ain't helping you, because he turned against the brother, right? So it's a brotherhood, and they saw what he did is absolutely heinous. Not only did he betray his country, but he betrayed a fellow Mason, right? He then had to leave this country, meaning England, and he left and he went to Canada. He got the same treatment from the same Masons and the same business community, with his sons, by the way, over there. No one would have it with him. And he ended up coming back to this country with a failed business. Obviously, his £10,000 or 10,000 pieces of silver were dwindling. And then he ended up dying over here. And he is buried in Battersea Cemetery in London with his wife. So I'll go over there, find a grave, and then I'll do a mini documentary explaining it. But I'll also explain to people why there is a comparison between Benedict Arnold for the American audience and Nigel Farage. Just to let everyone know. He sold his soul to the devil a long time ago, that man. I'm talking about Nigel Farage. So I just want everyone to understand that. Take your iPad and a box symbol will load up. Hang on a minute. Let's see if there's any other question. Dave Mamet, I shall email a bit later. Hope I'm not in trouble. Mr. Mamet, you're definitely not in trouble. Nothing bad at all. I just wanted to ask you something. Militia 1680, hi Mary. Barry Bank 112. When I see you again at 3 degrees. Let's have a look. I'm nearly there now. Let's have a look. Kevin Robert Frazier. Farage is an elite, and we know the elites got the placebo. We know there is a placebo around because our politicians stated it in Parliament, correct? He did actually say that. And do you want me to show you that? Does anyone want me to show you that clip? If you're talking about that, I don't even know if I would be... Yeah. Here it comes. Yeah. Oh, right. I'll be stretching myself out doing all sorts. Yeah, not only that, he took, I don't know how many millions. He set up a company. He could have pushed, what's his name? Boris Johnson out of it. And we could have had a lot of things going on there. You want me to show it? Okay, I will do. And I believe, can I ask everyone on Rumble, did you see I put Dr. David Martin's 1.5 hour video up on Rumble, right? And I've done that and give him credit for it. I didn't want him to think I've nicked it or done anything. And I've also give the original dossier about a certain individual that's on there as well. So I'm hoping that's on there. Let me just go to my radio station. Let's go to the clips. Placebo. I think I've shown this to everyone. Everyone should have already seen this. Oh, let me, I don't know how loud this is going to be. It sounds pretty loud to me, but then again, it's a bit of a pain for me. Let me have a look. I'm going to take that back down. I'm going to share this. This is, and again, I want you to understand how mad this all is. Share sound, optimize sound. So you should be seeing, this is the House of Commons, right? So there's no copyright as such on this. This is, like free video of the inside of a parliament, no different to, when anything's displayed in your Senate or your House of Representatives, etc., you're allowed to show them things. So let me just show you this, and then I'm going to repeat when we get to it, the element, but I just want everyone to listen to what he's saying.
I'm grateful for the honourable member's question, Mr. Speaker. On the Novavax trial participants, they will have their vaccine pass in the United Kingdom, and of course we're working with other countries to make sure that that is recognised. But as far as the UK is concerned, they will be considered as fully vaccinated whether they've had the placebo or the vaccine. As fully vaccinated whether they've had the placebo or the vaccine. On her concern, they will be considered as fully vaccinated whether they've had the placebo or the vaccine.
So I take it you all got that message. Right, so let me just say this to you, and it's fairly obvious, right? Let me get off of there, go back to my original element. Right, so you all just heard that, Touchwood. I'll ask a simple question to anyone listening to this, and you can give me an answer, yes or no, right? What is the point of having any form of vaccine passport if it's to show that someone has been vaccinated with the vaccine, yet a percentage of them people are going to be given a placebo? So it doesn't really prove anything, does it? It's all about control. It must be, mustn't it? So if Nigel Farage, for example, has had a double jab, but he's been given the placebo, and he's traveling from this country over to the US, going to all different countries, it's the same as being unvaccinated. So what's the point? Unless it's about control. So what they're saying is, unless you submit to us and let us have authority and bodily autonomy over your body, yeah, that what we put in there. Now, one other thing that people may want to do is put a freedom of information request in and ask what's in the placebo. Because if it turns out to be graphene, there's a particular reason why that wouldn't be good. So in other words, if it's placebo, but only got graphene in it, or graphene, whatever, that causes a problem. And I can't tell you the reason why on this show. But ask me tomorrow night, on Rumble, and I'll tell you. Right, but so Simon Shears has said the placebo is saline fluid salt. How do you know that? Is the answer. It's all right saying it always is, but no one's asked a question directly and got a direct answer. What is that placebo? What is contained in that? Because people have the right to know. So they're telling you what's in the allegedly what's in the vaccine. If they're sticking it in your body, they must tell you what's in the other thing. Again, Lady Polarthy, how do you know that? Unless someone actually does to the National Health Service, sends that little clip, if you want to send that clip to them. In fact, I might even write it out and do one myself as well, right? That's all you need to know. No point at all. No, there ain't no point in having it. Patriots, I'm nervous. We can't use rude words, so we have to improvise, be creative, surprise me. Okay. Graphene, whatever it is, the vaccine isn't a vaccine. It's mRNA gene therapy. Would be great if countries banned vaccine users, turn the tables. Can't get on Rumble, you block me. Huh? Can't get on Rumble, you block me. I haven't blocked you. Stephen Samuels. Gooner Mum, they don't want us to know. Lauren Danville, did he mean to drop the clanger? Well, that's always a strange one, isn't it? Let me read some more of these comments coming out. We've got 10 minutes left, so I want a bit of interaction here and find out what you think. Without it, don't forget, even in the chat, you shouldn't be writing certain things. SpewTube will be very naughty with what they're doing. Philip Flair, Danny Dragon, they are not saying what is in the vaccine, never mind a placebo. I don't know if that's true, you know. I think they've actually declared what's in the vaccine. A placebo is a pass to the elite, but not for the rest of the normal people. Anthony Sweeney, I am so pleased to see you here because I'm about to say something to you, right? Right. In a nice way, not in a negative way. I am only joking, Anthony. I am going to refer to some emails and some messages you've sent me. In relation to President Trump, I want everyone to remember this, right? It's all right, everyone's saying, and some people going a little bit further, deeper with that, saying that he has promoted the vaccine, right? There is absolutely, when you're being surrounded with people that are telling you that the vaccine is safe, whether you believe it or not, and some vaccines he has said he believes are safe, right? I believe, and especially since I've learned a lot more of Dr. David Martin, that where these vaccines come from and using fetuses and the way in which they obtained the cell cultures from different body parts, etc., is heinous. And he said, if you knew what they did, it's a horror story, right? I'm not just saying that. That's what he said, and I believe him. And Judy, Dr. Judy, the other lady that put this information out. Now, I want to say something to you all, and to Anthony Sweeney, right? I want you to remember something. President Trump, and I will continue calling him President Trump, whether you like it or not, right? Hopefully this won't get the channel banned, right? And one day you're going to see these flying all over London, right? Let me just say this to you. President Trump didn't just promote the vaccine, and he has a duty as the president, if he's being advised, to tell you that what his advice is, basically, right? Whether he likes it or not. What he did that was different to everybody else is he spoke about other alternatives, right? Knowing that there were alternatives, he told you there were alternatives. And without him voicing that, I doubt in this country you'd even know about the alternatives. In effect, it would make it a lot more difficult, right? The bit that throws me off and not in a negative way towards President Trump, right? The bit that throws me off is knowing that there are alternatives, then emergency use should never ever have been allowed, and experimental gene trials should never ever been allowed. And again, we've got a magazine over here. Let me just see if I can find it. It's called The Light. And I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to show you this particular newspaper. I think it's appropriately labelled, right? And if anyone wants this, I will be putting the link. So Americans want it. I'm going to be putting the link out there. There it's called The Light. Remember, many people spoke about The Light. Yeah. It's a people-funded newspaper, issue 11, thelightpaper.co.uk. Masks, and then I'm not going to read out any of this. I want you to read it off the screen. Yeah. This is just in the UK. You read what it says on the screen. You see all these people at a meet and greet. And as you can see, none of them are wearing any masks, etc. You've only got to look at the headlines, which I'm highlighting on the screen, but I'm not going to say what this is. But there's the magazine, and then it talks about the next page. You can see the headline again. So I'm highlighting that for you. I'm not going to say what it is. There it all is in there. And again, I went through some of these, and I think this is a fantastic newspaper for sending out to people via this PDF version. So if you want this PDF version, what I'm going to do now is come off of that, go back to there and give you the PDF version. And it is a good read, people. And I think you in the United States of America, bearing in mind this relates to the UK, you will find some great information. I believe it was on page 10 about medication should be taken via heart. So all that information. I'm not saying, let's have a look and see what else has been said in here. The jab passport are pointless, irrespective of the jab's effectiveness. The Light newspaper. I remember someone on Twitter was contacted by their GP to ask if they could come in to be tested, as they thought they may have a saline jab. Interesting of the vax. I'm not sure what that means. HR's brought out our own testing company. There's a lot of skullduggery going on. A good read. So again, I was actually sent that today. Let me just go and see who sent it to me. Let's have a quick look. Someone sent it to me. And again, Bill, admin. Let's have a look. Someone, Kay Alexander was the person who sent it to me, just to let you know. And I am very grateful for that person sending it to me. And if anyone else, if you get a PDF for that and you want to send me the latest version of it, I will read it out on the show. And then give them full credit and because don't forget, it comes as a physical newspaper. So you can register with them, and I believe they send it to you, and then you can leave it about in doctor's surgeries, etc., and do all the things that you would normally do. So I'm just letting you know that. Let's have a look. It's Green Agenda Stop Travel. TR on Monday. What's TR? Test, don't diagnose. Maria Ingram. That's it. Right. I don't know. What else? Is anyone got any questions they want to ask me? If you've got a question you want to ask, just ask. And I'll see if I can answer them. Don't forget, I've got this bit of kit. It's also because my internet suddenly has started going down again. Now, normally, this has happened to me before, but it normally happens when I start talking about the Queen, right? Or doing some sort of protest with the Queen. They take down and it literally goes red. And on 2 occasions, it was hard disconnected at the exchange, believe it or not, right? So just to let you know, that does happen, and they can do anything they want, really. But there is another piece of kit I've got now. If it happens again, I can use another piece of kit and get on via that. Well, actually, I can go live via that. Whether I can actually get on the internet via it is another matter. But we'll talk about that later. We'll be doing a Greenwich Park stand. Is anyone in Greenwich Park? I mean, I don't mind going down to Greenwich Park. I can tell you some history about Greenwich Park as well. In fact, someone tried to blow up the Greenwich Mean Time, whatever it is there. So, a long time ago. Anthony, what's the reason for the vax? I ain't got a clue is the answer. Not if there's well, actually, I've got a clue. And I could probably talk about it on Rumble, but I couldn't talk about it here. I have got an idea what it's going to be used for, and I actually did speak to Brett about it because he said to me, "What do you think they're doing with this? If they're using it as some sort of weapon, and it's linked to something else?" And I said, "That's the only thing I can think of. It would be really bad to use it." So just to let you know that. And I have seen Sunny Days Ahead pop up. How you doing, Sunny Days?
Hey, Dee Dee. I'm doing okay. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good.
I am literally going to go and make myself a coffee and a cold drink and carry on trying to do some tidy up in here. But yes, I'm really grateful to see you jumping in now because I'm going to hand straight over to you so I can go and make myself another coffee, have another cigarette, and attack this moth that's been attacking me.
Yes, get that. It's a critter.
Yeah. And I don't know where it is at the moment. I'm going to have to go and find it.
I'm sure it'll find you.
No, it will do, yeah. And it seems to have an affection with my ears for some reason. I don't know why, but it has. But I've got these lights in front of me, the really bright lights in front of me, and lights on the side here. So if you've got windows open, the moths are like bash straight in.
Oh, yeah.
But last night it was a massive, great big green bottle fly. Decided that it wanted to attack me when I was on air. And then I think a few weeks before, I had a spider on the ceiling that decided that it wanted to drop down like that and just sit there at eye level looking at me. And I don't particularly like spiders, right? So, yeah, and I'm looking at this spider thinking, what you looking at, right? And anyway, that was it. So I'm going to be off. I'm going to say to everybody...
Are you going to wear your hat while you're having coffee?
No, I won't be, no. That's my shower cap. Well, actually, it's a full one, but I won't put it on again, just in case there's any kids watching and it frightens the life out of them. But just to say that I've fully recovered now. Thank you.
It was funny, Dee Dee.
Yeah, no, I am off. Right, so I'm going to say, don't forget, the Constitution is the solution. You've been listening to Daddy Dragon, the full English show on 5B5, and I'm going to hand you over to Sunny Days Ahead and say... Bye.
Bye. Hey, live chat. We're going to get right into this. I'm going to go ahead and do my usual. I'm going to talk a little bit of news today and then go into some videos that I've found. So last week I showed this video and I saw some other shows showing it, and I don't know if this is true. I thought it was a weird video, and I do try to like vet my videos just a little bit. I like watch them and, try to discern. I'm not perfect, and you have to, I try to do it so that, like you decide if it's true or not. I don't know if this is believable to you or not, but what happened is I came across this article. It says it's a shocking theory behind viral TikTok magpie rescue. Footage showing a man releasing 20 birds with their heads caught between fence posts has opened the floodgates to a number of online conspiracies about how they got there. Added to TikTok, Christia Florin 5 days ago. The video has been viewed more than 18 million times, but experts fear there could be a dark motive behind the post. More than a dozen birds believed to be black-billed magpies languish with their heads on one side of the palings and their bodies on the other side. So people on the internet tried to solve a mystery of how a number of Eurasian magpies became stuck in a fence. Camera in hand, a man slowly lifts each bird to freedom. How did they get there is written across the screen in Romanian. Debate has been fierce on both TikTok and Reddit about how the birds were caught in the fence. I'm trying to figure out what the F happened, said one person in a comment that summed up many internet users' reactions. Captions will look like this. Oh, anyway. Somebody said they're going to remember you helped, said one of the top comments. Thank you for doing this. Somehow this was oddly satisfying to watch, wrote another person. Others thought the design of the fence could have played a role in the bird's predicament. On Reddit, things quickly got darker, with one person theorizing that the birds may have been caught and placed there on purpose, pointing to a known online trend of people posting fake animal rescue videos. In these fake posts, account holders place animals in dangerous situations so they can save the distressed animal and garner likes. However, there is nothing to suggest that is how the birds became stuck. So I do try to watch my videos, especially so if there's a dog dressed up in a baby carriage, is the dog struggling? A lot of times the ones I've seen, they've actually been soothed or, not struggling. So I do try to watch what I show, and one person's humor and one person's curiosity may be different from another person's, but I just wanted to touch on that. I do not know what happened as far as those birds. I hate to think that somebody, did it on purpose. That's horrid. So jumping into my videos, I found this one. And again, I don't know what's real and what's not anymore either. As far as videos, as far as posts, I'm trying to discern as much as the next gal. And so you have to decide, and I've heard, some people on a show a video and they're like, oh, well, that one's been around for, 3 years and it's supposed to be something disaster happening yesterday. I don't know, because they often don't have a date or, maybe I didn't see the original disaster. I wouldn't know. So anyway, meanwhile, in France, a brave restaurant owner displays a sign saying the unvaccinated are welcome and no COVID passports are required for entry. I can imagine that people are doing this now. It's possible. And the Red Walrus tweeted this out. It's Alex Lanes.
I would like to go at least to the border. Yet here I am. Every day we're seeing illegals from Senegal, Haiti, Guatemala, Mexico walking into the U.S., and it blows my mind. We have an entire country that is being affected by these surge of illegals crossing over, and we're at the mercy of a dementia patient who can't even wipe his own butt, much less make rational decisions. How irresponsible can we as a nation be? You cannot sit here and see the amount of people flooding into America and then act like you're truly concerned over new variants or the unvaccinated. If COVID cases are on the rise, close the border. If you're too scared of the unvaxxed, close the border. If you want to lock everyone down again because you still think it's our responsibility to keep you healthy, close the damn border. But until these communist-loving politicians do that, do not believe their fake act of worry over new variants or any other excuse they have to control you. Because to them, illegals crossing into this country are not super spreaders, they're future voters. And if you allow the government to break the law because of an emergency, they will always create an emergency to break the law.
Wow. She does hit it on the target. I caught this.
2009, during the so-called Great Recession, the president asked me to be in charge of managing that piece, then President Trump.
What?
Excuse me, Freudian slip. That was the last president. He calls, anyway, that was President Obama when I was vice president.
What? He can't keep track of who's president? I'm shocked. It's surprising. I'm not going to play this whole thing. It's 2:20, but just enough of it. Biden's motorcade is met with jeers and middle fingers as his visit to Allentown, Pennsylvania. Trump, 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 Trump. Okay, I thought that was funny. Let's see, moving on. There's no sound on this one. I don't know, is that like a small like alligator or is it one of those like lizard thingies? No, not a molitor, but yeah, I don't know. A lizard thingy. So Disclosed TV put out that Netflix mandates COVID-19 vaccines for cast, crews, and actors of their U.S. productions, the first major Hollywood studio to do so. We'll see about that. We'll see what happens with that. Something to kind of watch. Maybe I'll skip that one too. Samantha Marika asks, are they going to force the Amish to get the jab? And that's interesting proposal. Are they going to do that? Yeah, I'm going to skip that one too. This is Scott Jensen, the next governor, I hope, of Minnesota.
Hi, I'm Dr. Scott Jensen, and I'm running to be the next governor of Minnesota. And I want you to meet Brock and Tommy and their grandma Penny, because they were having a conversation earlier today, and Penny was telling me about it, and I think it's really a cool conversation. Penny, tell us about that, and maybe ask the kids to speak up.
Well, at first they thought he might be the president, running for president. Tommy. Oh, Tommy. And you did. No, all right. And so what I explained that, no, he's running for governor. And you were like, well, is he going to have somebody protecting him? Is he going to have guns and stuff? So they got real excited, but they said, well, he might be president someday. So we need to get an autograph. We need to meet him. Is that true, boys? Yeah.
So what did you think when you found out I was a doctor?
Well, we thought you were like, so like if you do become governor, like if someone else gets hurt, you might have to like be out of your job for like a few minutes to do your other job for like doctor.
I think if I'm governor, I can leave my job as doctor for a few minutes to do the governor thing, or I could go either way, right? Yeah. I could do the doctor thing too. Do you think so, Brock?
Yeah.
All right. Do you think you have any advice for me in terms of what I should do as I try to run to be governor?
Well, always the best thing is to be honest with the country. I mean, our states.
Boy, that's well said. Give me 5. How about you, Tommy?
Maybe just be like kind and considerate about what you're saying.
Okay. Did you hear that? kind and considerate and honest. I think we need these two to run for governor and president. Thank you so much. Thanks, Penny.
You're so welcome.
Thanks, Brock. Thanks, Tom.
Awesome. Cute. I know the volume was kind of low on that. There wasn't much I could do about that. This apparently happened 3 hours ago in happening now in communist Broward County at the school board meeting. Enough is enough.
They pushed us outside. This is Anna DeSenz. We're at the Broward County School. We're waiting to go in and speak. They kicked every parent outside, and we're not allowed to go in. It's a public meeting, public property. We paid, our tax dollars paid for this building, and we're out here like cattle in 100-degree weather. So this is the truth, including doctors, all parents, and the crowd is larger than yesterday, larger.
Awesome. The crowd is larger than yesterday, she said. So I found this tornado chasers up in Wauwatosa, Wisconsin.
Bert Lauderdale here, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin, just getting my coffee and my breakfast going. I'd like some espresso to get it rocking. And a storm is coming through tonight, not just any storm, possible derecho coming through. Storm chasers from all around coming into Wisconsin today to chase this bad boy. So I'll be out there west of, probably about northwest of Milwaukee here tonight, midnight, early morning hours. A little midnight chase, a little midnight run. Bert Lauderdale reporting, just a quick Bert Alert update. Tonight's going to be a doozy, so be prepared, because Mother Nature don't care, whether you like it or not. Reporting, Bert Lauderdale.
I don't know if you heard him, but he said a derecho is, looks like it might hit Wisconsin. And so a lot of storm chasers are going up there to watch. And I would just ask you to pray if you would. If you're a praying kind, put up a prayer for Wisconsin and the people in the path of that storm. My understanding is a derecho can have like really strong, like hurricane winds. And the first time I heard of one was like, and maybe you too, it was like a year or two ago in Iowa where it wrecked a lot of crops. So, and then, you know, like I like to have the animal videos. Animals just amaze me. This one again doesn't have any sound. Holy smokes that this guy sleeps with. I couldn't imagine sleeping with these animals. Oh my gosh. Ending up as breakfast. It's pretty wild. I'm sorry, the graphics aren't very good. But yep, they're all snuggling up to him while he sleeps. And it looks like it's night. Wow. And the caption on it says, another moment after bragging he slept with these animals, the gamekeeper secretly filmed and was amazed. So then there was this post. I thought this was interesting. You are right to feel that you are being manipulated. Watching eyes effect. People are more likely to comply when they feel they are being watched. Identifiable victim effort. People are influenced more by a singular named victim than by groups or statistics. Fear. Emotion is needed to motivate behavior, and fear is probably the strongest emotion. Messenger. People are more likely to comply with a message from a liked or trusted source. Accountability. People will diffuse responsibility to others unless they know their specific role. Efficacy. Fear messaging only works if people have clear, achievable action to take. Look him in the eyes and tell him you always keep a safe distance. That must be some kind of ad that's out there. and it's hashtag break the chains. So I found this one. Imagine getting slapped by a fish. She said slept, but I think she meant slapped. Play that again because it happened so quickly.
It knocked him out. It knocked him out.
Isn't that crazy? That's one big flippin' fish. And it smacked him enough to knock him out. Today, Disclosed TV put this out. Alabama coal miners protest outside Black Rock in New York City. Whoops, I don't know what happened there.
One of you. But not just you. They stole from They stole it to the mom and pop shops that we're supposed to be supporting. Now, I'm a patriotic American. And I think that we hear things like that all the time.
So there was a big turnout of miners. It sounds like Alabama coal miners. Not sure if there were other miners there or not. There sure looks like there's a lot of them, though. This was interesting. Swiss national soccer team uniform with upside down satanic cross. So find that interesting, the symbolism. And I have another one of those. That was kind of interesting. Conservative Mama put out May 25th, 2020 to July 30th, 2020, 8,700 protests took place across America. 574 were riots, 25 Americans murdered, 2K police officers injured, and $1 billion in damages. And then insurrection, January 6, 2021, 1 American murdered in cold blood by a gunshot perpetrator walked. And then this is just another animal video.
Yeah. Who's gonna give up first? I want to know.
Drinking out of a bottle. I wonder where that is at. So what I was thinking about that is that out where it's so dry out west? And then there was this one. There is no sound to it. I don't know. That's interesting. All that traffic, and that he would stop and pick him up and move him out of the car lanes. So this, I found this one.
Yes! Yeah! Come on! Oh! Come on! Yeah!
These are crazy.
Oh! What? Whoa!
I don't know. That seems weird, but kind of fun to watch. This is another one.
Whoa! Ja, die wächst ja hochkranke. Ja!
First, why y'all?
Oh. It's laying around. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. People got pretty bored during the lockdowns. There's some creativity. And then there was no luck involved. Hashtag true story.
In the 19th was a huge part of life for everybody living in Beatrice, Nebraska. Beatrice was a small town, so not only did everybody go to the same church, but a bunch of people also participated in the choir. Choir practice started at 7:20 p.m. sharp every single day. So when the church priest was running a little bit behind on March 1st, 1950, it was kind of a big deal. The priest's family had just finished up eating dinner at 7:10, but his daughter spilled something on her dress and she had to clean it up. While she was getting ready, the clock passed 7:20 and they were officially late. But little did they know that their daughter's clumsiness actually saved their lives. At approximately 7:25 p.m., there was a gas leak inside of the church and it blew up. Minutes later, the fire department was searching for bodies in the rubble, but they never found any, because by some miracle, all 15 choir members were running late. This article explains why each person was running behind. Pretty lucky. In the 1950s,
So what my immediate plan is to see patients. My immediate plan is to keep screaming till they stop letting Americans die. And I'm not.
Sorry about that. I think I was muted and I don't know when I started being muted. This is Stella Emanuel. And that other video, I was just saying that I have no way of knowing if that story is true, but I thought it was pretty cool.
So what are your immediate plans? You got. My immediate plan is to see patients. My immediate plan is to keep screaming till they stop letting Americans die. And I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be silenced. My immediate plan is to pray until these powers, these diabolic powers that want to destroy these nations are destroyed. And it's going to be war. Do you understand me? I'm a warrior. I'm a sniper in the kingdom of God. It's on.
She is a fighter, and I hope those words don't get us taken down, because she wasn't talking about what would be the word, like weapons. She was talking about being a sniper of the kingdom of God. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. Well, this was interesting. I'll have to stop it because it's the War Room, but this was Marjorie Taylor Greene on the War Room.
Were passively with maybe one or two Democrats, maybe one or two Republicans. One of them, nobody said a word. Nobody said aye. Nobody said nay. He just gavelled and was about to say the ayes have it, and nobody said aye. And I asked for the recorded votes. I mean, it's ridiculous. This kind of stuff goes on, but you have it's a regime. It's a communist regime. It's been a communist
I love that she
takeover.
exposes them and that she tells us what's really going on, especially like about this voting thing, because I had no idea that they did that there could just be a couple there and they will vote. But when she calls that, whatever she said it was, vote to call or roll to call or whatever, then they actually have to vote on it.
Of our country, and it happened on January 21st, and that is who Joe Biden is. They are completely.
When you say that, people, are going to sit there and go in the mainstream media, "Oh, this is why she's crazy. These are not communists." Back up why you think they're Marxists and communists. What's your evidence for that, and how do you make that statement?
The evidence: study history. Simply study history, and you can see how.
Wait a minute,
behave.
They're trying to change history and telling us history is different.
You see, they're completely changing how everything goes, and I read it in their bills. For example, the Green New Deal, you hear me talk about it every time I'm on here because I can't scream it loud enough to you. It will completely change our country and put us on our knees to China. I want to tell you about one of the bills in the minibus bills, all about the Green New Deal. It's giving billions of dollars, funding
the Green
billions
New
of dollars.
Deal, I think it goes along with the reset.
Into taking the federal fleet, the entire federal fleet, and turning it into electric vehicles, and then building charging stations everywhere. And then also it gives money to China, to pay China to turn us into electric vehicles. But here's one thing the bill also does.
They make the batteries.
Yeah, they make all the batteries everywhere.
I heard a little bit of President Trump in that.
When China dominates the battery market and the rare earth mineral mines, and this is really critical, guess what else they put in this bill? They said that no one can lease mines on federal lands in the United States of America. We have rare earth minerals here in our country, and some of them are on federal lands. And the Democrats not only want to hand all the power over to China with making us dependent on electric vehicles and destroying oil and coal and any kind of other energy system that's in place. They also want to take away any company's ability to rent or lease the mining rights on federal lands here in the United States. So they don't want us to be able to grow and
it's pretty interesting. This person tweeted out, absolutely deranged now. I'm so fed up with this shit. Out of Forbes, why speaking English may spread more coronavirus than some other languages. Really, people? Come on. These people, and they call us crazy. This Robert Barnes is a lawyer, and he says, okay, so they say the CDC director says new data shows breakthrough cases of vaccinated individuals can have as much virus to shed and spread as an unvaccinated person. That was the CDC director who said that. But then he says, the V mandates cannot be legally justified, giving the vaccinated pose as much transmission risk or more than asymptomatic unvaccinated. I hope he's right. He is a lawyer. Hopefully he knows what he's talking about. This was it's just cute, this little girl.
Keep backing up, really, man. Keep backing up. Keep backing up, backing up, keep backing up. Keep backing up, come here, come here.
Papa, come here.
Come here, come here, come here, back up.
Hold on.
Back up.
Papa,
Go back up there and reel him in.
No.
Come here, see? We caught a fish. Come here.
Oh, it's a nice little sunny.
No. I want to go. I don't like Batman anymore. You do it. You Batman. Papa, you finish.
You want to catch another one?
No, you catch it.
Okay.
He stays so calm with her. She's so excited.
See what happened on her first fish.
It's just a fish. I'd be more freaked out about putting the minnow or the worm on you. Let's see. That was from July 26th. So this is, as Michael Flynn, a retired Army Lieutenant General and the 25th National Security Advisor, is given an AR-15. He tells a California crowd he wants to use it. Well, this person says this, and she is out of, let's see, what is she out of? She's a blue check mark, but founder of Mom's Demand. I don't know, but Anyway, she says this thing, like he wants to use it to blank lawmakers in the nation's capital, but he never says that. So this person says, I guess Democrats can't take a joke. And Flynn didn't say he was going to anyone. It's laughable how they don't even address the issues of people getting daily in their shithole cities. But a joke about harming a politician is a major of concern.
That's awesome.
And tell us about your gift.
So we were trying to come up with a rifle that we thought was appropriate for a general. So we went with a old school woodland camouflage. So anyhow, this is one of our top quality guns. And
Maybe I'll find somebody in Washington, D.C.
This one's Florida compliant.
I will say that I think it's an odd statement to make, but maybe, I don't know what he was referring to, but he didn't say what she said. To me, it was an odd statement, but anyway, moving on. Let's see. So this from Boris Johnson. Did Boris Johnson obtain a medical license diagnosing anti-vaxxers as nuts? Sane people in a maniacal society have been unjustly labeled conspiracy theorists and racists. Maybe the real nut jobs are those forcing their will on others, contrary to universal law.
You mean and the BCG and all that jazz? Because there's all these anti-vaxxers now, isn't it?
Well, Marina can tell you a little bit about how we've achieved that.
Marina, what do you think of anti-vaxxers?
Well, maybe you're nuts.
Yes, we've changed a lot of our practices since they've come, and we've changed our 6-week checks to 8-week baby checks including the vaccine. We ring parents, making sure we've got a recall system and get them in for their vaccines. Our rate's quite high at the moment because we're getting them in.
Maybe he's nuts. Just saying. Let's see. This is one of those I wonder about, because this gal's daughter and her are in quite a few of these videos, and she's always kind of laughing at her mom. And I'm almost wonder if this is like something they do together or what. But
gosh, she's gonna kill me. You have to dance.
What?
You have to dance.
Dance for what?
For me to unlock the door.
Carrie. It is 100 degrees and I'm on Main Street. Open the door.
Dance.
Carrie. Okay, let me in.
I need a better dance than that.
Okay, now open the door. Oh, Carrie.
Okay.
Open it.
Okay, come on.
That is not even funny. That's hotter than crap out there. Carrie, this we're on Main Street.
Here, have you whack bar?
Well, I'm gonna need it after that mess. I'll get you back. I will get you back for that one.
Don't be mad at me, Mama.
Oh no, I'm not mad.
I love you.
I love you.
Do you?
Well, not right now, but I do.
I don't know about that. As many times as her daughter does that to her, I don't know. So they wheeled out MK Ultra Greta, now harping on that's a privilege to be injected with the experimental COVID. Today, I got my first COVID-19 vaccination dose, and I'm extremely grateful and privileged to be able to live in a part of the world where I can already get vaccinated. Blah, Greta. How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, so I don't know if you all heard about this, but Twitter had suspended the official account of Arizona Audit and the Audit War Room yesterday, and I believe they did all 50 states of the Audit War Room. This is supposedly, Italy has experienced heavy showers of rainfall, including massive amount of hail the size of rock. Northern and central parts of Italy were bombarded by a freak storm with ice balls bigger than apples. Hailstorm damaged hundreds of cars on A1 highway near Parma. They do look like big hay balls. I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to skip that one. I don't think I can take Chuck today, but everything Chuck says in this, to me, it's like he's talking about himself. Let's move on to this one.
No, what's said in this class
don't leave this class.
exactly stays in this class.
We were informed that this equity audit was going to be taking place. They didn't inform us of the day it was taking place, or we weren't really sure a lot of details behind it. We're not informed of the questions on this survey, and when my daughter came forth and told me her teacher, and said you cannot skip any questions even if you don't understand them, that she was told not to repeat any of the questions to.
This is pretty interesting. This happened in Minnesota a couple days ago, I believe, or last week.
Me or any other adult in her life. We have been informed that this came down from administration and Equity Alliance of Minnesota.
What do these teachers and administrators have to hide? First, the teachers' unions tell us they're not teaching critical race theory, and now they're being caught telling students not to tell their parents what they're learning. Could it be you're teaching a racist, Marxist curriculum to divide Americans by race, tear down the very fabric of America? Something's fishy.
I actually have an article on that. Maybe I'll just touch on that quick. Let's see if I can. So it was this, Minnesota fourth grader speaks out on secret equity survey. My teacher said that I could not skip any questions even when I didn't understand them. One question asked us what gender we identify with. I was very confused along with a lot of other classmates. Yaskar said at school board meeting last week, being asked to hide this from my mom made me feel very uncomfortable, like I was doing something wrong. Yaskar's mom, Kelsey, told Fox News that parents were informed, what she said on the video, that they were informed, but not the date of the activity and not given any other details. I was very upset when I found out that she was told not to repeat any of the questions to me or any other adult in her life. According to one question on the survey obtained by Fox News, students were asked if they were currently identify as female, male, transgender, or something else. Transgender people have a gender identity or gender expression that differs from their assigned sex. For example, I'm not going to do that. Haley said she was confused by the question and got nervous and uncomfortable when she was told she couldn't discuss it with her parents. Yeah, so they're doing that to kids in school. And then there was this. That almost doesn't look real. It almost looks like, like remember Jaws a little bit, but it doesn't to me, but pretty wild how big they are. Wow. Oh yeah, and I think we're supposed to, according to a New York Post article, I don't know if you've heard that, but there was this article on sharks that they're trying to take the pressure off sharks and that they're not attacking people, that they're just biting or something like that. Look it up. It's pretty crazy. Can't make this stuff up, folks. Only they do. So this is cute. Baby owls. I can see how they might be mistaken for they're cute. They're so ugly. They're cute. Oh my gosh, they're baby owls. I don't think I've ever seen baby owls. I don't know if that is real, but Would they nest? It looks like they're up in this attic or maybe an abandoned house or something. I don't know. Y'all be careful. This is kind of shocking. I wish I could start these without having to do that. Did that get you? These always get me. Oh my gosh. I can't believe how many I've seen of them where something like that happens and it gets me every time. This is why women live longer than men.
Are you alright?
I don't know. Maybe those are setups. I don't have a clue. Kind of funny though. This is cute. Look at this cat. Oh my gosh. Open up. I want in. Oh. So cute. This person tweeted out a Democrat. What would you do?
Get that!
Whoa! Oh my God! Oh my God, Mom! Don't freak out! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh!
Wait, this isn't funny.
Wait, this isn't.
Don't freak out. There's a shark below her. I don't know. I'd freak out. Oh, crash. Those never end well. Hopefully the people didn't get hurt.
Sound check. Sound check. Madison Brooks reporting. I'm not getting any sound. What the hell ear was? Did you just lick my ear? It works. Right. What the? Ew. Going live. Sound check. Sound check. Good. Okay.
That's bizarro. He said it works. He licks her ear and then he says it works. I don't know why. I don't get it. This person labeled this one dog licks Brian Stelter. You know, I do think frogs scream like that. I think I've heard that before, but I could be wrong. I'm going to skip that one too. Look at the size of this creature. So amazing. Wow. I don't know if that was like real noise or somebody put some noise to it, but
Good morning. Scott Jensen. I'm running to be the next governor of Minnesota. I've attached an article you might find interesting. It's a common smear tactic. Basically, you'll see over and over in this article the writer excoriating me for comments other people made. The first line of a paragraph will frequently connect me with someone else, and then the rest of the paragraph will ridicule me because of things other people have said. The fact of the matter is the article doesn't really divulge anything new. It's just if you will, a compilation of things that evidently made the author upset. But it's a common tactic, and I think if you actually look at how do we get context in terms of trying to understand something, we need to look at other voices other than our own. And I think this article is just a smear tactic that'll be going on for the next 15 months. And my wife and I, we've made our peace with it. It is what it is. It doesn't seem fair. This is a way to demonize or vilify me in my campaign to be the next governor of Minnesota. Have a good day.
I found that interesting that they use that tactic. And I will be watching for it in the future. I'm going to skip that one. Basically, it's this video that it's where he has flip-flopped. They put together the different times he's flip-flopped and said, you know, no mask, mask, no mask, mask. Spiders can see the invisible laser from an iPhone LIDAR camera.
It's a weird looking little spider thingy in the garage. Look. And
right? Nothing.
When you type
over here, look. Every time I touch my phone, it freaking
tap it crazy.
moves.
Tap it crazy.
Look, look, look. But yet, I'm tapping the table and nothing. And I go here on my phone and I touch the camera. It's like if it feels what I'm touching on
stop.
the camera.
Okay, go. Ooh, that is so weird.
Dude, how and why?
Ew.
That's kind of weird. I don't know if that's weird.
Falam comigo que usaram hidrocloroquina, que usaram ivermectina. Por que você não admite isso? Porque você acha que me consultar com o Bonner ou com a Miriam Leitão sobre esse assunto? Pare de tocar no assunto. Você quer botar... Me bota o jornal agora. Vai botar agora. Estou sem máscara em Guaratinguetá. Tá feliz agora? Você está feliz agora? Essa Globo é uma merda de imprensa. Vocês são uma porcaria de imprensa. Vocês são uns caras, cala a boca, vocês são canalha. Vocês fazem jornalismo canalha, vocês fazem. Canalha, que não ajudam em nada. Vocês não ajudam em nada. Você destrói a família brasileira, destrói a religião brasileira. Vocês não prestam. A Rede Globo não presta. É uma péssima órgão de informação.
I forgot to say that this is President Bolsonaro of Brazil.
Se você não assiste a Globo, você não tem informação. Você assiste, está desinformado. Você tinha que ter vergonha na cara de prestar um serviço porco que é esse que você faz na Rede Globo. Obrigado.
Wow, if true, I don't speak that language. And, you know, they put the words on there. It's pretty wild. I like these two. I've seen several of these now. I think I've played them. It's kind of interesting, the timing on how these guys do this. I wonder how many times they have to practice that on the timing. This person tweeted out, if Hunter were a cat.
Okay, that's enough. Let's self-control, please. Can we? Oh my gosh. Get close! Ow! Ow! Ah, the claw!
likes his catnip. Oh boy. Funny. I just like this one. I just like to watch it over and over again. It's just a gift. Oh. Oops, I screwed that one up. Sorry about that. Oh, the puppy looks so content. Aww. Let's see. I love these with Senator Kennedy.
Well, let me advance for any mean, ugly, accurate things I'm about to say. My advice to the White House is, look, instead of honking on like a goose, solve them. Senator Schumer has a bill, as you said, Endless Frontiers Act, is right now before the Senate. It is an orgy of spending. How can I put this? Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. That's what the American people think. That's what the American people think.
I mean, Louisiana, if you refused to work for people that were trying to stab you in the back or investigate you, I don't think it would be a state.
Well, that's fair. And certainly you just described Washington. But some members of the House leadership, they're just toying with him. I meant what I said. They need to urinate to get off the pot. Go ahead and impeach him. If you think he deserves to be impeached, he won't be convicted in the Senate. Senator Schumer is ecstatic. He's running around like a 5-year-old in a Batman costume. People are thinking right now, Mr. President, they're thinking that this country was founded by geniuses, but it's being run by a bunch of idiots. Tail our Second Amendment rights. The Bill of Rights isn't an a la carte menu, Sandra. The Second Amendment is just as important as the Fourth and the First. And I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Unlike some of the folks in Washington, D.C., I'm talking about the cultured, cosmopolitan, goat's milk latte drinking, avocado toast eating insiders elite. Your user agreement sucks.
He is one of the politicians that is kind of funny. This is just cute.
Go that way. Don't fall, go that way.
I wouldn't at the moment.
I thought she was pregnant for a second.
How many more are left?
2.
Got them?
Yeah. Oh, no. You're okay. I got you. Here's Mama. Oh, wait.
Left your mama.
Look at your mama.
Oh, they can really run fast. That one like doubled over, did a somersault. It was running so fast. But Mama, you could hear how upset she was at first and then how much more she'd calmed down. And she was more just calling them. More of
Senator Kennedy cracked Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein.
Name 3 things that don't hang themselves. I believe love is the answer, but I own a handgun just in case. This country was founded by geniuses, but it's being run by a bunch of idiots. Why do the members of the United States Senate continue to double down on stupid? We do not need more gun control. We need more idiot control. Nancy Pelosi is trying to impeach him. It must suck to be that dumb. I'll put it this way. If you hate cops just because they're cops, you don't know anything about them, then next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead. How can I put this?
Senator Kennedy cracks me.
Oh, this is
Happy Saturday. I just want to remind y'all, sometimes you just have to let go of the picture of what you thought life would be like and learn to find joy in the story that you're actually living. Have a blessed day.
Aw, that's a good message. And then this is cool. Snow leopard goes over cliff chasing a goat, and my time's almost up. There's no sound to it. Isn't that wild? Wow. Still hanging on to it. I think they'd both be exhausted and stunned by the end. But you can't really tell. They clipped it there. Hey, Pixels, are you in the house? Yay!
Momentarily.
Uh-oh. What does that mean? Momentarily. So thanks for hanging out with me, everyone. Please stay tuned for the new guard.
I'm here.
Awesome. How are you doing?
Good. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn my lights on. It's kind of important.
Oh, no, that's okay.
So how are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Right on.
I love Senator Kennedy. I don't know if you heard any of that, but
Yeah,
gosh, he has some zingers for him.
Yeah, I was watching those clips. It's awesome. Yeah, he's pretty good at one-liners.
Although he says Jerry Epstein. I think he meant Jeffrey Epstein, but
yeah. I remember when that happened. Actually, I was like, it's Jeffrey, but it happens.
Yeah.
So they're saying 412 is on his way.
Okay.
Very cool. All right.
Are you in this hot weather? Heat?
Oh, let me see. Let's see how hot it is outside. I was out there earlier, and I actually thought it was a pretty nice day out.
Oh, we've been in heat. There's that derecho that's supposed to hit Wisconsin tomorrow.
Mm.
Oh, I hope it dissipates.
So right now it's 84 and sunny where I'm at.
Okay.
But it doesn't feel that bad outside. I think it's like low humidity, so it's just a nice day.
Oh, good. I'm glad for you guys. I think our heat is supposed to break tomorrow. We're not supposed to get a lot of that storm. We're on the edge of it, but it sounds like the eye of the storm is supposed to hit Wisconsin. I hope it dissipates. I never even knew what a derecho was until, wasn't it last year or the year before one hit Iowa and wrecked a lot of crops? Do you remember that?
No, I don't remember anything like that.
Okay, because I was like, what the heck's a derecho? It's like hurricane force winds, I guess.
Huh. Crazy.
Yeah. And weird.
Crazy. Very, very weird, yeah. Anyways, Adel is here. What's up, Adel?
Awesome.
Hey, what's up? Not much, guys. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Having a decent day here. How was your show?
It was good. It was good. Always fun hanging out. We had Dizzy, we had Homesteader, and Pinata today, so it was a good conversation.
Sweet.
Cool.
All right.
Well, I'll let you to it. Have a great show, guys.
Thank you very much, Sonny.
All right.
All right, Adel. I'm going to go ahead and play the intro, and then we'll get into it. The New Guard, everyone, starting now.
What they did to Portland, and nothing happens to Antifa, and nothing happens to BLM, but to people that are patriots, or conservatives or Republicans, they stay in jails for extended periods of time, and they destroy their lives. Republicans must never waver in demanding that the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That election, our election, was over at 10 o'clock in the evening. We're leading Pennsylvania, Michigan, Georgia by hundreds of thousands of votes. And then late in the evening or early in the morning, boom, these explosions of bullshit. And all of a sudden, it started to happen.
You are watching The New Guard here on 5x5, and Pixels could not think of a one-liner in time. What's up, Battle? How you doing, buddy?
Not much, man. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Dude, I'm excited for our weekend, man. Oh my god. I can't wait.
I'm not gonna lie. My brain is already kind of falling into like vacation mode. Like
Dude, mine too. I'm experiencing that today as well. Know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to get on the road and kind of come on up there. Even though I'm really not taking much time. Like we're gonna, at least the plan for right now is to do the Friday show from your house. So it's not like we're taking all that much time off or anything. But it just feels like things will just be lighter in spirit. You know.
Oh sure.
You know, when we get up there. So I'm looking forward to making the trip up and hanging out and having a good time and just enjoying a weekend away with Nature Ninja and Gunner and being up there with you and your family and
oh yeah,
just enjoying the great outdoors and all the good stuff up there. So
and I've purposely not been telling you, but we have a new boomstick for you to try out.
Ooh,
yeah, it's gonna be fun stuff. It's pretty sweet. You're gonna love it.
I'm excited. I'm debating on whether or not I should bring up my hardware, the stuff that I didn't lose in that boating accident the last time I was up there.
Do it.
All right. We'll talk. We'll talk after the show here and see what we got going on. It should be a good time. It should be a good time. And last I heard, I haven't reached out to him in a bit, but I think Red Pill's gonna be able to hang out too, at least for a little bit. So we're gonna have a nice little Patriot meetup. It's gonna be a good time.
Right on. Awesome stuff. Well, we have some thank yous to say before we get into the show. He cute over there on D-Live donated a diamond and said, "Did you say you're on Trovo 412? Can't find you. Are you on Trovo?"
Yeah, it's I think WTPI 1776 or underscore 1776 is the channel. It's not 412 and on. I don't think.
Right.
I'll double check.
All right.
I always forget.
While you're doing that, Crow Girl donated a lemon over there on D-Live, so thank you very much, Crow Girl. Plant Patriot with a can says, love the opening. Thank you very much, Plant Patriot. I made that myself. And let's see, 2A Freedom Rider out there gifted a can as well and said, just jumped over from Adel's show. So awesome, glad to have you here. And Blue Rinse at Blue Rinse out there gifted a cookie as well. Thank you very much, Blue Rinse. So, did you figure it out, Adel? What do you call Don Trovo?
I think it's 412 and on, actually, according to Restream anyway. I don't know. Hold on. Let me try to log in. That'll help me figure it out.
Right on. Well, Tracy.
I think I have like 30 followers over there, so I don't give it all that much attention. I apologize.
No problem. Tracy Truthism out there donated a lemon. Thank you, Tracy Truthism out there. I can't talk today. I have like multiple things wrong with me today, I guess. I'm just not as much in the zone as I normally am. I had a pretty darn good show last night, though. Hope you guys out there enjoyed that. Yeah, kicking it with RP78 would be awesome, says Not My President. It is. Red Pill's a really cool guy. He's super chill, and I'm excited. Hopefully he'll be able to get over here and like have a bonfire and some barbecue with us or whatever. That'll be fun, Adel.
Yeah, it's all right. So trovo.live/412 and on. That's how you find me.
There you go.
If you're interested.
There you go. Funny username out there on DLive. Ass Stethoscope just donated a diamond and said you talk like I type.
he Ass Stethoscope will donate constantly just to have you read his name over and over again. That's what I've learned. The more you read his name, he'll just keep trickling out diamonds. So you just have to keep saying his name over and over again.
That is fantastic. It's actually kind of it's like a tongue twister a little bit, kind of, right? I mean, am I alone there? It is Stethoscope.
It is a bit of a tongue twister for sure, and it's just a hilarious name. It's just an absolutely hilarious name.
I think if you say it all at once, like a stethoscope, like aesthetic,
Yeah.
a stethoscope.
I see where you're going with that.
I'll figure it out.
I can dig
Anyways, what do we actually want to talk about today, Adel? There's a lot of stuff going on out there, from multiple fronts. So I don't know. I'll give you the first pick, Adel. What do you got?
There's a lot of different places we can go. I mean, I think the biggest thing going on right now is, you know, the introduction of the mask mandate again. You know, what they're pushing, this weird obsession with I don't want to call them vaccines anymore, with injecting everybody. I played this video at the beginning of my show, and I think it's worth playing again. Maybe it's a good conversation starter. Have you seen this kid speaking at the San Diego? I don't know if it's a committee or it's a board of supervisors meeting for San Diego, California. Have you seen this?
I have not seen this. Let her rip.
All right, so yeah, check this out.
I'll make sure you're sharing your sound.
Good call. Am I? Nope. Sure wasn't.
Caught him.
There you go.
Got him.
There we go. All right.
Good morning, supervisors. Thank you for being here, listening to us. Before I go further, though, I'd like to address Ms. Wilma Wooten and that propaganda that you were sharing. This is not factual. We've actually, being that we are not Cuba yet or North Korea, we still have access to the internet. And it's beautiful because your department has done a fantastic job of documenting the deaths in this county. So what I've done is taken that information which you provided to ensure that I'm an informed citizen and I know when you're lying. So here we go. April 2021, there were 147 people who died in this county. Whatever the positive tests say with this PCR test, which we know to be unscientific and be used at 45 thresholds, which makes these positive tests false positives. We know this, and we also know that 147 people died in this county in the month of May. Or, forgive me, April. So let's go to May. How many people died in May? Ms. Wilma Wooten was talking about how all these people are dying. 54. We had 54 deaths in the county of San Diego. I don't care about the positives because obviously the PCR test is bunk and we know that. So let's go back to the deaths because that's hard evidence that we can use. In the month of June, how many deaths did we have, Nathan Fletcher? 80. How many residents are in this county? 3 million? 3.3 million residents in this county, and we're using propaganda that Wilma Wooten is using from the PCR test that we know that has been tested to be bunk because we've had 80 people die in this county. How many rights are we going to take away before we look at the facts? We know what you're trying to do. There are good supervisors up here that are trying to fight for freedom like the Constitution, but where are the rest of you? Why are you silencing people and using this jargon to scare us into submission? When are you going to speak the truth, Wilma? We're calling you out because we, the citizens of America, are tired of these lies. We get lied to regularly. We're used to these lies. Who's going to stand up for the truth?
Wow.
We need so much more of that.
I was just going to say, like, everybody out there in the audience and you and I should be doing this in our counties.
Yeah, I mean, he absolutely ripped that apart. And especially with the new push to vaccinate and exclude people from society. based on vaccination status or whether or not they're willing to wear a mask. I think absolutely we need to be doing stuff like this and making sure that we're being heard, for sure.
That kind of made me think of this clip that I saw on Gab last night, and it actually made me go hunt it down. I'm going to go ahead and play this. This guy is in Canada, and he just absolutely kills it. Listen to what this guy has to say. The way he breaks this down and the way he puts this, it kind of makes you raise your eyebrows and think about that. Like, wow. So just check this out. I think you'll like this one too, Adel. If you haven't seen this one already, you're gonna.
I haven't.
I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. Instagram doesn't like me today. They're going to delete my account. And why is that? It's because I said the word genocide. And what was I talking about? Well, I was talking about the government of Canada committing genocide right now. That's right. Genocide, 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 genocide. Please screen record this, share this, get this message out. The government of Canada is actively and knowingly committing genocide against the people, specifically children. The government of Canada is actively committing genocide against children right now. Please share this message. The government of Canada is and has been fully aware of the fact that the PCR testing cycle threshold has been run way too high, essentially guaranteeing that we're going to get upwards of 90% false positives. Those false positives were the driving force behind this declared state of emergency in the country of Canada, which is the only reason why they are somehow legally able to inject you and your child with a poisonous, lethal, experimental injection, which has already been proven to kill over 9,000 people in North America alone, according to the VAERS reports. 45,000 people have been reported dead through other reporting systems in the United States, and that is being challenged in court right now. Every death from this vaccine is a death committed by the government of Canada. Not by a virus, not by nature, not by God, a death committed by the government of Canada. The government of Canada is actively committing genocide right now, and not just against willing participants. They are coercing the vast majority of the population, including children. They have violated every single one of the 10 points of the Nuremberg Code. The government of Canada is actively committing genocide against the people. Share this message. Do it now.
So there you go. I mean, when he breaks it down that way with the vaccines, it was kind of hard for me to think of this as anything other than genocide. If they're knowingly, and we have prominent Democrats in this country right now talking about they want to actually mandate the vaccines. They want to literally force people to take these vaccines when it's clear that a lot of people are actually dying from them. How is that not knowingly committing genocide at that point, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on it, Adel?
It's absolutely murder. I don't know if it's genocide, but it's murder.
Well, murder on a mass scale is genocide, and they want. And if they're talking about, forcefully vaccinating all of the population, then
yeah, I mean, I thought genocide. Maybe I don't understand the full definition of the word. Was like against a certain group of people, like a specific race or group of people. But sure. I mean, it is mass murder. It is mass murder. I mean,
right.
I don't want to mince words. The guy's absolutely correct. But genocide, mass murder, whatever you want to talk about, call it. Yeah, it's an attempt to depopulate the world. Obviously, they're doing it kind of inch by inch, and they want us to kind of police ourselves into depopulating ourselves, which is the really fucked up part.
Yeah,
he's absolutely right. I mean, it's completely messed up, and Canada has it so much worse than we do here. But that's, you can look to Canada, like Homesteader would say, look to the UK, Australia, New Zealand. These are all testing grounds for things that they want to try to pull on us here in the United States.
Yep, absolutely. Real quick, Go Dog Go out there gifted a cookie. Thank you, Go Dog Go. And Plant Patriot gifted a cookie and said, can you drop the link to the kid at the school board meeting? I believe she's talking about I
can do that.
When you played.
Just give me a second. Yeah, we'll drop that link for sure. someone out there is saying that we're not blaming. Wait, says you're not blaming Trump. What do you want me to blame Trump for? I don't understand the context of what you're saying. You want me to blame Trump for what's going on in Canada? Or
I think they're talking about the vaccine. The Operation Warp Speed thing, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, we've had conversations about that, and that's one of the things that's been hard for me to reconcile. It's definitely, that's a big conversation to have. Like, how much do you blame Trump for this? Would they have done it without Trump's support anyways? There's a question.
They would have,
right?
Without Trump doing warp speed, they would have dragged out lockdowns, mask mandates. They would have done more psychological and like economical damage to the people. I think it would have been more drawn out, and I think a lot of the people would have been desperate to take a vaccine because of it, to get their freedom back. So I think President Trump kind of accelerated things so that we could deal with them on a faster timeline. Now, what I don't understand about what about President Trump is. First, let me ask you this, Pixels. Do you believe that President Trump actually got vaccinated? Do you believe him, Ivanka, any of the family actually took the vaccine?
It's a good question. I don't have an answer for it because I wasn't in the room, right? And I mean, none of us truly know whether or not they got the vaccines. We were not in the room. We didn't watch it happen.
I'm not asking you if you know for a fact. I'm just asking if do you think President Trump took the vaccine?
Did he?
I know you don't know for sure, but if you had to bet all of the gold pills in your account right now, one way or the other, did he actually jab himself, or did he actually get the same jab that we all get if we go to the Rite Aid or the Walgreens down the street and get the jab? Do you think that he has been injected?
Was it before or after he got COVID?
It was after he got COVID.
Then no, because there's no if you beat COVID, right, then you already have a natural immunity to the virus after that. So why the hell would you take a vaccine? It's what T.N. Homesteader said on your show earlier. So no, if it was after he got COVID and recovered from it, why the hell would he actually take it? There is no actual reason for it. So no, my answer is no. I don't think he has actually.
I don't think he has either, and that's like I struggle with that hard because I don't believe he's taken it yet. He's told us that he has. He has said in interviews that he has. So he's lying to the American people, telling the American people that, hey, I've taken this thing. It's safe. It's effective. It's the greatest thing ever. You should all take it too. And that's where he loses me. Now, he's never been one to say it's going to be mandated or that people should do anything they're not comfortable with. He's never been one to talk about like passports or anything like that. I don't think he would ever do that. But he still does. He still does do his little sales pitch for big pharma. You can't deny that. You can't deny that he has been one of big pharma's best salesmen over the past couple of years with this virus. So if my assumptions are correct, and they may very well be wrong, he didn't get it himself, yet he's telling the rest of us to go get it and that it's safe, and ignoring a lot of data saying otherwise. It's I don't know. That's a tough one for me. Sure.
Yeah, it's hard to reconcile, and it is the thing about Trump that I don't like, right? Pretty much one of the only things. There's a few other things I could probably, if I sat and thought about it for a long time, I could probably come up with a few other things. But around the vaccine situation, I'm absolutely frustrated with Trump. Absolutely. Let's see, real quick, before I get into my other thoughts here. Dilbert Sierra out there, Gifted Shades, says, we love our seasoned pickles. Thank you very much, Dilbert Sierra. And Tallest Symbol Freedom out there gifted a cookie and said, if Hillary won, would know anything? You're going to have to reframe your question because I don't understand. Like, would we know anything? I don't know. I don't understand the question. So tag me and write it again, and maybe I'll figure it out. Scorpio5 out there gifted a phone and said, I don't believe he did. Yeah, so, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are with us on this. But, like, one of the things that I'm seeing is that President Trump still wants to, throughout the 2020 election cycle, and even after, he's trying to take credit for the vaccines, right? Because of the Operation Warp Speed program that he did.
Yeah.
And he's trying to use that as some sort of like political win, but I really have a hard time reconciling that because 90+% of his base is furious with him about that thing.
I don't know if it's 95%. It's definitely 95% of like his hardcore base, like people in our corner of the internet. I think there's a lot of the country that voted for him that has taken the thing.
You think so?
Sure. Oh, definitely.
So do you think?
I
do you think
know
that,
a lot of people. I know a lot of people personally that love President Trump and took the vaccine almost as soon as it was available.
Would you say that more than half of Trump's base does not have a problem with the vaccines?
Yeah.
You really think so?
Mm-hmm.
Because I've heard a lot more, like, in the movement, right? And like, just in the conservative movement in general, I've heard a lot more vitriol and disagreement with this vaccine, and especially mandating it, than the opposite. That's just
I think
been
there's
my
a lot
experience.
more. I think there's a lot more opposition. I think in the movement, just because of the type of mindset that it's made up of, that you will have a lot more resistance to the mandate of it than the vaccine itself. Most people in Trump's base support freedom of choice, individuality, just personal freedom and liberty in general. So I think if you frame the question, you could frame the question two different ways to a Trump supporter. One, are you willing to get vaccinated? Do you trust the vaccine? And then the other question would be, should the vaccine be mandatory? I think if you ask the former, you would get a response of, yes, I trust the vaccine. I would say probably about 60% of Trump supporters would say they trust it or would be willing to get it if they were even coerced a tiny bit. Like the slightest inconvenience would be enough for them and they wouldn't really fret it. But I think if you ask them if it should be mandated, it'd be probably less than 5% would want it mandated. But I do think that there's a large percentage of the Trump supporters that have been vaccinated or would be willing to get vaccinated or don't have a problem or aren't suspicious of the vaccine, for sure.
Right. Real quick, Tweety52 and Tracy Truthism, thank you guys for the lemons over on DLive. And then there's somebody commenting saying, stop pretending that evil is not taking place. You can't keep sweeping those crimes against humanity under the table forever. And we're not trying to. We're sitting here talking about it right now, so I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We're trying to, it doesn't matter who it is, we're trying to reconcile this vaccine situation around Trump. We're talking about it, so I don't understand how that's sweeping it under the rug. We just played videos, one of a gentleman confronting a school board about that. Was it a school board or was it a city council?
It was a town board of supervisor.
Okay.
San Diego, California's board of supervisor meeting.
Right. And then I played a video of a guy literally calling out the Canadian government and calling it a crime against humanity. So I don't know if you're talking to us. I don't think you've been hearing us correctly because we're having the conversation right now. Really, I mean, I'm just frustrated. I'm just frustrated with Trump, and I know that his last speech, right, in Arizona, that was like the one topic that he kind of seemed to avoid, or like maybe he touched on it like really quickly and then just like stopped talking about it. So do you think he's starting to realize that a large chunk of his base is like not okay with this and that he should probably back off? I mean, what do you think is going on in Trump's head like over this?
He seems to have a lot of friends at Johnson & Johnson. That's all I'll say. If the vaccines turned out to be dangerous, I hate to say it, but I don't think President Trump would be honest about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I think he's obviously got some friends at Johnson & Johnson. He's got he's personally invested in the vaccine, being that Operation Warp Speed was his move. He's gone on record saying you should take it. He's gone on record saying it's safe. He's gone on record saying that they're wonderful, miracles, whatever. I mean, he's used a lot of hyperbole to describe these things. He has completely tied himself to these injections, which is insane to me. If the evidence did start turning up that these things were dangerous, which it already has, I think you'll see exactly what you've seen to this point. At best, you'll see him go silent on it. At worst, he'll continue to lie up to the American people, which he has done repeatedly about vaccines.
Yeah.
I love Trump. I support Trump. I plan on voting for him next time he's on the ballot, if he is. But at the same time, he is, I think, looking you right in the eye and lying to you every single day he mentions these vaccines. And you all need to reconcile that however you want to. But it's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much where Adel's at with it, honestly. Like, in every other stance that he has, I pretty much support the man. The vaccine thing is the one thing that's like my reservation about it. What's really interesting to me, though, Adel, is like back in 2015, 2016, when he was running, didn't we see a Trump that was willing to listen to like the anti-vax crowd, and kind of seems like he was part of that? He had concerns over autism and whether or not certain vaccines were causing autism and stuff. So like it's just crazy to me to watch him like flip when this coronavirus situation came about. And the only thing that I can think is like the people around him got to his head with the coronavirus situation, right? And like
Washington D.C. does weird things to a person, man. President Trump also used to talk about how 9/11 wasn't what they said it was. He used to take a lot of very truther stances on things. Ever since he
JFK.
for 4 years in the White House, we got 4 9/11 memorials where he perpetuated the lie about what happened that day. We had him back off on JFK. It's gonna sound like I'm just here to bash President Trump today, which is not my intention, but it's I'm just pointing out things that he has said one thing, then either flip-flopped or done another when in a position of power to do something about it. JFK files, 9/11, all things that he's talked about before, that when he had the biggest megaphone the country has to offer, he went oddly silent on. Vaccines are another one. He was what you would call an anti-vaxxer, at least a vax skeptic up until now. Now all of a sudden he's Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson, especially his biggest salesman out there. Not biggest, that's not fair. There's other ones, but there's a lot of things like that that I can't quite reconcile for sure. I think the good far outweighs the bad, but there are certain issues where the man has definitely taken more of the politician line on things than the regular citizen out there just fighting for the people. There's definitely some politician tendencies that have snuck into the President Trump's rhetoric and to his stances on things and whatnot. Necessary to survive in the city, or I don't know. I don't know how to always make sense of it all. I don't think President Trump's perfect either. I've never, you know what I mean? Like,
no, sure,
he's as good as we've had. Yeah, he's as good as we've had in the position, but he's not immune to protecting himself politically, right? And in favor of putting the cold truth out there. We've seen that throughout his presidency. He's always stopped short of just saying what needs to be said. He's hunted to. He's always tried to, not always, but you always feel like he's hoping or trying to give the mainstream media the opportunity to write a good story about him. Like he always wants to extend that vine out there to them, and they never take it. They always still torch him, no matter how much he concedes or gives them or plays into what they're doing. It's never going to happen. So I wish he would just be more of the wrecking ball that we got used to prior to him actually getting into office.
And that's, that's been kind of coming back a little bit, right? Like I noticed that, when he was in Arizona, I kind of noticed that the wrecking ball kind of Trump was starting to rear his head again.
Yeah, and I hope
that I can, exactly. And I hope that we can see that, continue because I miss 2015 Trump because he was just so raw and passionately telling the truth and like you said, taking truther stances on stuff, and it was so exciting, but once he came into the presidency, and we've talked about this before, he kind of became like Trump light. Like gradually it just happened, and he needs to get fired up again. You know, he needs to be willing to listen to people about this vaccine. He needs to be willing to look at the data, to look at the deaths, to look at the long list of problems that people have had, the side effects, convulsing, like unendingly, like just horrible shit that we've been seeing. He needs to open his eyes, look at that information, and start being honest with himself and with everybody else. Because I think that if not, then I think with this situation, with these mandates rolling in, and with more and more of the information coming out, we're going to be seeing a lot more opposition to the vaccines, right, in the coming months. I think it's going to get. I think we're at a moment right now where a lot of people are about to get red-pilled. The government is not going to give them back the freedoms that they were promised for following their ridiculous edicts, and people are going to start realizing that they've been played. So I think now is the time for President Trump to start getting honest about the entire situation. Would you agree with me?
Time for him to start getting honest was 2 years ago.
Oh yeah, well yeah, but I'm just saying if there's gonna be any time, like any time later than this is gonna be way too damn late to save himself from because honestly, I think what's going to happen is these vaccines are going to be getting so bad, so many people are going to be dying from these, and the information is going to be pushed out there by truth tellers, right?
Mm-hmm.
This has a potential to kind of like damage Trump politically in a big way, because he's been the one taking the credit for these vaccines ever since this entire situation started. He's using it as this like political trophy, and he's walking on thin glass here, because as soon as people start to realize that, oh my God, it's actually a poisonous death shot, who are they gonna want to blame? They're gonna want to blame Trump for pushing it through so fast.
It'll be interesting to see if the media flips on the vaccines and runs with that. Well, it's President Trump. It'd be interesting to see. I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised. But the funniest part about it all is the vaccines don't work. They're already coming. NBC, one of their reporters put out a story that USA Today picked up talking about how fully vaccinated people are now carrying a higher version of the vaccine, or of the virus, and they're the ones spreading it. Hold on, let me see if I wonder if I kept it. Did I screw up? Did I lose it?
Right, and here's the thing, that fact coming out, and then the government at the same time saying that everybody needs to get vaccinated, what kind of a message does that send?
Doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. They're saying
you're forced into a corner of assuming like the government's trying to kill us all.
Yeah, so here's the CDC in one day. CDC director says new data shows breakthrough cases in vaccinated, not in vaccinated people can spread as much virus as unvaccinated, right? But they're also saying vaccine passports may very well be the path forward. This is the kind of shit that wakes up even the dumbest mouth-breathing CNN junkie out there. I mean, they say this all in one press conference, in one outing. They say those two things together. It's like
it really is unbelievable. Total clown world shit we're going through right now, right?
Yep.
And sometimes I find myself at a loss of words. I feel like, so what do I do in this movement? I cover news, and I provide a little bit of political commentary. Sometimes something is so out there and so obvious that it's like, do I even need to say anything about this? Like, you guys can see it. It's just right there, right? So it's like, I've been having a hard time with my commentary, because it's like, when you see something that ridiculous and that cut and dry, what the hell do you even say? It's like I've just been stunned.
I'm going to apologize to Chad ahead of time, but I'm just going to go to Dilly's, Brendan Dilly's go-to. If someone comes up to you and says you need to be vaxxed or to put your mask on, I think the only response to any of this stuff is suck my dick and lick my balls. I think that's just the universal response to any mask hole or vaccine Nazi out there is fuck you, I don't care. And if they try to say something else, suck my dick and lick my balls. I think that's just the new response. I mean, if they're that stupid to be pushing it after everything that's come out, then they reserve no more respect, no more conversation from you other than get the fuck out of my face. Leave me alone. Fuck off. I don't care. I don't care. You're too stupid to talk to right now.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, like, I had such a hard time watching people, the mask holes, right, in public, just like publicly shaming, like looking down, oh, you're not wearing a mask, put your mask on, put your mask on, put your mask over your nose. That's my favorite one. When someone's actually wearing a mask, but it's not like completely over their nose and someone gets triggered over that, right? It's like, at what point in time are people going to get so sick and tired of these people that they're just going to either tell them to F right off or just punch them in the face? Like, people are totally done. I know that I'm totally done with people like that. Because it's like they're like walking adult freaking children, and the way that they talk to people is unbelievable for not wearing a piece of cloth over their face. Like, who the hell do they think they are? Who gave them a freaking badge? You know what I mean?
Imagine though, like seriously, imagine you walk into a store without a mask, right? And their manager, their mask police comes scurrying across the sales floor. Sir, do you have a mask, sir? Imagine if every one of our responses was just, are you that fucking dumb that you buy that shit? And then he just walked away. Imagine if that was all of our response, just laughing obnoxiously right in their face, like in disbelief that they could be so fucking stupid, and then act like they were just joking the whole time and then just continue walking.
Well, I truly
That's the kind of response I want from this movement is complete mockery.
And that's, I love that, Adel, because I think conservatives have a problem. And here's their problem, okay? Conservatives are too damn polite. They're too damn nice. And they'll get on the internet and complain all day long about the liberals, but when one's in their face, they're too afraid to tell them to just piss off. Get the hell out of my face. And that's the type of, like, you understand, like, there's a societal war happening right now in which one side is only just beginning to fight back. We have been socially pressured by these leftards out there for a year and a half at this point, and none of them have faced any backlash for it whatsoever. They're only just beginning to see it, and I love that. We need to ramp that up and start applying social pressure back against the other side, or they will continue pounding us into the freaking dirt, right? But conservatives need to, and this is what Trump tried to teach us all. We need to grow a pair of balls, and we need to be able to tell somebody who's an obvious commie and government worshiper to get the hell out of our faces and leave us the hell alone. Because if we don't start doing that, if we don't start applying that political pressure back to the other side and saying, go away, we don't care what you have to say, go wear your mask in your car, but I'll breathe freely. You know what I mean? I don't know. I love what you said there, because people need to fight back. And I don't mean fight as in physically fight. I mean, do not be afraid to tell somebody to get the hell out of your face.
Don't physically assault anybody. Obviously defend yourself. Like if someone comes up and puts their hands on you because you're not wearing a mask, then you grab their arm and you do what you need to do. You apply as much force as you feel necessary. If someone puts their hands on you, I won't judge you for that. But you don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be, as much as I joke, you don't have to be even rude or obnoxious the way I'd like you to be. Just don't comply.
Yeah.
Make everyone that says you have to wear a mask, force them to call the cops. Make the cops show up everywhere you go if that's what it takes. Everybody. The cops will stop coming. If enough people, how many times are the cops going to respond to if every grocery store in the city is constantly calling about people not wearing masks? They're not going to physically pull you out of the store. And if enough people do it, the cops aren't going to have the manpower to enforce anything. So have the balls to deal with the confrontation, and we will win. It's going to take 2% of the population to do this, to win. That's all it's going to take. It takes 10 people in each store every day to not wear a mask and say, just call the cops. Do it. Call the cops. I'm not going anywhere. Call the cops.
Yep.
They can't. There's no way they can enforce it. There's just no way. They're not going to be able to, especially because these aren't even laws. They're mandates. It can't, legally they mean jack shit, nothing. Yeah. So hold your ground. Hold your ground. Hold your ground. That's all I can say. Refuse.
100%.
Refuse.
In short, people need to realize their power. People, people have power, and especially like remember those like videos of like people not wearing masks, just going into stores en masse, right? Like organizing it and saying, we're going in, we're not going to wear a damn mask, and let's see what the hell they do. Every single time, you know what happened? They walked through the stores, they got their stuff, they went out, and sure, there was a couple pissed off Karens and managers having a little fit like a toddler, but other than that, it was uneventful. They won.
Yep.
So there you go. Ask Stethoscope out there donated a diamond and said, F yeah, Adel. So there you go, Adel. He appreciated what you said out there. But yeah, I mean,
there's no stronger pushback on these authoritarian losers, these communist people. There's no dagger that goes deeper into their soul than mockery.
Yeah,
because they take themselves extremely serious. So if you treat them like the clowns that they are, they will lose their cool, they will lose their minds, and in turn lose the argument and lose the hearts and souls of this country en masse. So make them into the jokes that they are. Treat them like the cartoon characters they are portraying. Give them no respect, treat them with no dignity, and watch how fast they become irrelevant. Treat them the exact same way that you would expect Don Lemon to treat you if he met you on the streets. I don't know how else to say it.
No,
fight the
exactly.
fire with the fire. Especially when it comes to the COVID thing, I take no prisoners on people that still go along with the narrative. I have very little compassion for those out there that are still buying into it. I don't care. I'm not afraid of hurting anyone's feelings. If you're still afraid of COVID, especially after you've been vaccinated, you're an idiot. You're a pussy, and need to go and do some serious soul searching, because you become nothing but emotional mush upstairs, and you need to get your shit in check.
Well, they've become shambling, mindless zombies who worship Dr. Fauci as their god and will listen to him and everything he says, no matter how many times he flip-flops. Here's one of the new things they're doing. They're saying, like, we're shifting science, right? Oh, science is shifting this way. Now we all have to get vaccinated, but even booster shots, even though the vaccinations don't work and they're spreading the disease. Oh, booster shots, right? The science is shifting. No, your bullshit's shifting is really what it is.
That's all it is. Science doesn't shift. It's so messed up how they've taken something that's supposed to be about exploring ideas and possibilities,
to try and get to the truth
about empirical truth, and they've turned it into a dogmatic one world religion.
Yep.
And it's really gross. It's holding us back big time.
Absolutely. Ask Stethoscope out there donated another diamond. Thank you very much, Ask Stethoscope. And 2A Freedom Rider.
Every time you say his name, he wins, man. Every time you say his name, he wins.
Oh, man. And 2A Freedom Rider gifted a cookie and said, check out Marjorie Taylor Greene's latest post on Gab. I'm looking at it. Here, I'll put it up on screen for you since you donated. Let's see here. Here's her latest post 50 minutes ago. The Senate isn't parading around with paper napkins and jockstraps on their faces, even though they are the oldest in American history, with the average age being 63. Speaker Pelosi is way older than that. She's somewhere close to 90, older than dirt, and destroying our country. Well, I guess, yeah. Some truthful statements there from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So there you go. There is some news out there today. We got about 15 minutes left. Here's something that kind of like made me go, what? DOJ indicates it might sue states returning to pre-pandemic voting regulations.
Yep.
Yep. So the Department of Justice loves the way the 2020 election was run, and they want to make it permanent now. In the last 2 days, I've seen the Justice Department totally shit on any semblance of the separation of powers in this country. The other day, they were opining on Oh God, what was it? But they were saying that like something is constitutional or something. Yeah, that vaccine mandates are constitutional. That is totally fine. Guess what, DOJ? That is not for you to decide. That is for the judicial system to decide. And now they're saying they get to decide voting laws, even though that's state legislators' job. So they've shit on Congress and they've shit on the judicial branch. They just want to take it all over. They want to be the one government agency to rule them all, is what I'm starting to kind of see here from the DOJ. Am I wrong here, Adel?
It's panic. This is panic. It's not about it's a panic move, right? And it's kind of funny because elections were fine for however many hundreds of years. Like no one was all that concerned about election laws, and all of a sudden the way that we did elections before this monstrosity where we had 20 million more votes than registered voters, if we go back to that, we could be in some serious trouble as a nation. I mean, it's so disingenuous and it's such nonsense. And the great thing is most Americans, I think it's like 85% of Americans agree with the voting integrity laws being put forward by Republicans. I think it's like 80% of Americans or 85% of Americans, even a majority of Black people and minorities agree that there should be stronger voter ID laws. This is a power grab in the name of civil liberties. Go figure. Talking about the Democrats here, and it's nothing more. But really, this is a panic move because they see the game is being unrigged and they're trying to stop it. That's all it is. It's a hey, you better not, or we're gonna do something about it. And they don't really have any jurisdiction. The federal government has no jurisdiction over elections. Zero, zilch, nada. It is 100% stated in the Constitution that it is the state legislature that runs elections. If they want to change that, they need to get a supermajority of Congress and have a convention of states, a congressional convention, and edit the Constitution if they want to change it. It's damn near impossible to do, and that's for a fucking reason. All of this DOJ nonsense and all of this legislating with the pen and all of these, trying to legislate or create law with reconciliation or through budgets, all of this is so far beyond how this is supposed to work. And they're trying every last little unconstitutional workaround that they can. But I think it's going to fail. I think that most of these states are realizing that they need to reclaim their power, and there's really nothing stopping them from doing it. And they just need to understand that all of this rhetoric coming out of the Biden camp and the Biden DOJ is nothing more than empty threats. They don't have the jurisdiction or the power to do anything about states that want to change their voting laws.
See, I don't know, Adel, because I've seen the government in the past 2 years do a whole lot of things that they're technically not allowed to do, but they just did it and got away with it. So I don't know about that statement.
I don't think that you've had any resistance, though, from, I don't think you've had states really try to take their power back in a significant way. This whole voting issue really kind of... Remember when Q said you forgot how to play the game? You have to relearn how to play the game. He's talking about this exactly.
Yeah.
He's talking about the fact that we've all been convinced to focus on Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. is the main stage, and that's where all of your attention needs to be. They have all the power. So wait every 2 years, go to the polls, and then hope that the critters that you send to D.C. are going to do right by you. That's kind of what we're all brainwashed into believing. But when really the people that hold the keys to your destiny live next door to you. They're in your towns, they're on your committees, they're in your local government, they shop at the same grocery stores. Most of the time, their kids go to the same public schools even. You have access to these people, you have influence over these people. They can't get away from you, they can't escape to DC, they don't leave to legislate, they do it right in your backyard. If you motivate the ground up, from the ground up, the federal government will cower because they don't have the power or the manpower to really enforce what they want to enforce. Get your local sheriffs, your state AGs, your state legislatures, your local committees, school boards, you get that shit under control, and the federal government's nothing but a paper tiger with a big mouth. That's 100%. I would bet everything I have on that's what Q meant when he said you forgot how to play the game. He's talking about you forgot what your power really is and where it really lies. The federal government is not real. It only exists because we, the people, allow it to. The states allow it to. It's really supposed to be who's president and what the federal government's doing should be inconsequential to all of us. It should have very little effect on our lives if this country was actually run the way it's supposed to be. So let's remember how to play the game. You don't have to overthrow DC. You just have to take care of yourself locally, and DC becomes almost irrelevant. So I agree, Pixels. We've seen a lot of bullshit. We've seen a lot of things go the way that they shouldn't have. We've seen the federal government get away with murder, literally and figuratively, over the past 2 years. I can't argue that. The accountability for illegal behavior, the corruption hasn't been there. There's been no consequences. There's been no rule of law. You got me. If you're looking for an argument for me on that, you won't find one. But I will say this, that locally we have done, up until recently, we have not done our part as a community. Until recently, we've seen this grassroots movement, which I would argue you wouldn't see unless we were in this situation. So continue to fight it out locally. Let's see more of what we saw at the beginning of the show. Show up to those meetings and hold your local boards of supervisors, committeemen, school boards, hold them accountable to the facts and the real science, keep pushing for election security, election integrity, and all those things that matter, and see where the chips lie. But don't hyper focus on the federal government and what they're doing. That's out of your control. There's not a damn thing you can do to stop that. That's a runaway machine that's so far down the track. Point in case, Kevin Kleinsmith.
Yeah.
All you have to say is that one name.
Yeah.
That's everything. You had President Trump and his pick for Attorney General, and he was in there for 4 years. You had them dead to rights, committing treason, and you couldn't get a parking ticket for this guy.
Yeah.
There's no hope in the federal government. It's all of the hope is local. All of the hope is with we the people, the proles, as they said in 1984. Start acting like it. Don't be the victim. Don't be anyone's victim. Take control.
100%. Real quick, Dale Bercier out there gifted a ship and said, for the cause. Thank you very much, Dale Bercier. And then Go gifted a cookie and said, GDDOJ, that sound you hear is me screaming at the top of my lungs. Yeah, I was pretty pissed off when I saw it too, because they're just, like I said, this DOJ has absolutely no respect for the American people, for true justice, or for the separation of powers in this country. They're trying.
Sounds like the last DOJ, and the one before that, and the one before that.
Yeah, but this one is so much more brazen about it, right?
I prefer that.
Yeah, I guess you have a good point there.
Call me crazy. I am much more comfortable with Merrick Garland as the AG than Bill Barr. Because Merrick Garland's going to look me right in the eye when he fucks me. Bill Barr's going to pee on my leg and tell me that it's raining.
Yep. There you go. There you have it, guys. 2A Freedom Rider out there, gifted a can. It said 5x5. Are you familiar with Allen Park in Michigan? I was born and raised there. I think I've been there. I think I have been there before. Let's see here. We got 5 more minutes. This kind of this is a real doozy right here, Adel. I don't know if you've seen this one. Oh wow, Ass Stethoscope out there donated a Ninja Guinea and said, "Take that. Say my name, mother." Joking. I will always say your name, Ass Stethoscope. I will always say your name. And Dale Bercier out there gifted a cookie, a hero cookie for the road. Thank you very much, Dale Bercier. All right, so yeah, this is a pretty big one here, Adel. This totally pisses me off. McConnell is using re-election campaign money to run vaccine ads in Kentucky, countering bad advice. The headline speaks for itself. Adel, what do you have to say about McConnell here, man? Like, obviously, he's just the biggest freaking rhino piece of crap douche in the freaking world. That's all I can say about it at this point.
I wish he'd switch parties.
Yeah, that's a good point. That would be great. Switch, Mitch. Everyone call you Switchy Mitchy.
Oh, I gotta find this clip. Hold on.
Oh boy, here we go. 123 SKG. Thank you for the can. It's been kind of a laid-back show today. I'm kind of enjoying this. Just conversation between us.
Yeah, it has been a laid-back show, which is always a good time. Hold on, I gotta find this clip. I think maybe I had it on Gav. Something that Marjorie Taylor Greene said. Bear with me, guys. I couldn't remember if I found it on Gab or Twitter. Hold on. Oh, tell me I don't have it. I played this on yesterday's show, unless someone took down the clip. What the fuck? Here it is. All right. Listen to what she says here. And this goes for Mitch McConnell and everyone like him. This is why MTG, I think, is the best Republican, the best patriot in Washington, D.C., including in the movement, including President Trump, including Ron DeSantis. I think she's the best. Here's why. Because there's maybe two other people in Washington that would come out and say this and give it to you 100% no bullshit. Ready? Take a listen.
Tell you something, Steve. You know what bothered me? When we saw the Dow started to tank the other day because COVID cases are rising, that's when we saw a big narrative change. You saw Fox News going crazy of, we got to get everybody vaccinated. Sean Hannity, we got to get everybody vaccinated. And you start hearing all these Republicans coming out with their messaging. We got to get everybody vaccinating. You know what that has to do with everyone? Wall Street. Tell you something, Steve. You know what bothered me?
Dude, she's a wrecking ball. She says what can't be said. She does not care. She's not there for anybody but the people. You could just tell. That woman is not there to make friends. She does not care what they try to do to her. She does not care if she pisses off the progressives, the conservatives, or anyone in between. She's going to give you the truth. I have not seen really any other examples of where she sugarcoats something or bullshits. I mean, I know no one's perfect. I'm sure she's had moments where I could criticize her or anybody could find. But man, when it comes down to it, she is. There's very little buffer between just how it needs to be said and the way she puts it. She doesn't worry about decorum, political correctness, pissing off a donor, any of that. I mean, yes, fuck Sean Hannity, fuck Fox News, and fuck the entire party that I'm a part of. All you guys are doing this because your stock portfolios are taking a hit. That's right. Bullshit. That's not what we're here to do. Man, that is refreshing.
If there's one woman in this world that I would not mind being in the White House, it would be her. By the way things are looking, she's just kick ass. Real quick, ask
her and Lauren
out there.
Boebert too. Lauren Boebert's on that same level. Lauren Boebert, I have to say, is on that same level.
Yep, and I love the way that Lauren came into the scene. Right, she was just a pissed off mom telling Beto O'Rourke like, "Hell no, you're not going to take my guns." And boom, into the stratosphere she went. So God bless her. Ask Stethoscope out there donated another diamond and said, "Don't say my name. This is for MTG." Well, there you go. I already said your name. Sorry, buddy. But thank you for the donation. And that's a legendary username there that you got. I'm surprised that wasn't already taken on DLive, to be honest. So we'll go. I have one more. I know we're at 7 o'clock, but I just have to bring this up. This is some good news. We'll end it on a positive note. Executive Committee of Dane County, Wisconsin, Republican Party votes unanimously to support Representative Brantian's proposed forensic audit. What do you think about this one, dude?
Let's do it. I mean, I don't. What do you want me to say? Like,
I want you to say, "Fuck yeah!"
It's fucking July. What is taking you so long?
No,
Wisconsin's as cut and dry as it gets. Wisconsin's voting laws are like, they're written very clearly. You can't mail in a ballot unless like you have very, very legitimate reasons for not being able to get to the polls. There's no wiggle room. They didn't even change the law. They didn't even change like. like illegal. Like they did nothing. There's over. The fact that Wisconsin's still like sitting there with the charade going on is amazing to me, because it's just as cut and dry as it could possibly get. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy. If we pick up the pace on this shit, I'm tired of this senile old pedo fuck and his crackhead son in the news. Can we do something? Like let's just get this going here. Anyway, I'm happy about it. It's good news, but let's pick up the pace. Let's go. Let's get the ballots. Let's count these fucking things. Let's scan them. Let's get the totals out there. It shouldn't be rocket appliances. Let's just go.
No, I'm totally with you on that, dude. Could not agree more. But I am very excited about this. Wisconsin's one of the states that was definitely freaking stolen in the 2020 election. So let's get to the bottom of it. And let's see the truth. Real quick, Dale Bercier out there gifted a cookie. And there you are. This has been kind of an unusual show. Usually we're more newsy, or Adel and I get into a debate or whatever. But this one's been laid back, so I hope you guys enjoyed the slight change. Tweety52 out there with the ice cream on D-Live. Thank you very much. Adel, anything you want to plug before we go?
Prepsteading. We're taking calls tonight at 8:30 to 9:30, answering your questions about prepping, homesteading. Homestead and Callie Homestead will be doing that. That's at 8:30 tonight. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock right here on 5x5, Drunk Pinata is going to be doing a Taking It Back pre-show leading into the 4 o'clock broadcast on We the People Insider, or my channel on Foxhole, 412 Anon channel on Foxhole, where I'll have Brendan Dilly and hopefully Frankie Val too, of the Quite Frankly podcast, hanging out for an hour over there. And then on Friday, if all goes to plan, we will be doing our 4 p.m. broadcast from Pixel Studio. So that'll have a cool, different feel than we normally have on the channel. So looking forward to that as well. But that's it for me.
Right on. Yeah, I'm excited for that. It's going to be cool. I'm excited for the whole freaking weekend, actually. It's going to be badass.
Me too, man.
You know, guns and barbecue and bonfires and just, you know, Americana freaking hangout. And adult, Red Pill possibly coming and chilling with us. It's going to be kick-ass.
Absolutely.
So that's it. Look for me tomorrow, guys, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be doing my rapid-fire news show known as The Breakdown on my channel here on Foxhole. And I also stream to D-Live and Twitch as well, but I would prefer that everyone watch on Foxhole because that's where the real fam's at. Anyways, this has been The New Guard here on 5x5, and we love you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Peace out, everybody.
And again, I forgot to type. Bye, everyone. Much love. God bless you. Where we go, one we go all.
Say ass stethoscope again.
Ass stethoscope.
And we're out.
And we're out.